Hello, good morning, and welcome to a wet Brian Lock Cricket Academy in Taruba in South Trinidad. The rain has finally graced us here at this lovely venue. I'm Philo Wallace on behalf of Cricket 360 production. This second round of West Indies Championship 2018-2019 match between Trinidad and Tobago Red Force. They're hosting the Windward Volcanoes here at Taruba. A very interesting day's play, this final day of this 4 day encounter. To my right is Vijay Ramnarine, no relation to Dinanath Ramnarine, and we continue to say that. But you also hear us call it Nick. A very intriguing day. Trinidad and Tobago Red Force requiring another 137 runs to win. They have 5 wickets in hand. At the crease is Joshua De Silva, the debutant, the wicketkeeper. He's on 27 not out. With him is Tion Webster, who battled a long time. He's on 6. And at this level, Tion Webster has a couple of centuries. And he'll be looking, obviously, in the Red Force will be looking and hoping that these two can back the first 10 minutes. And I say 10 minutes because they have to do it in small increments. So it's not beyond them, but it calls for application and dedication. As I said, good morning to Nick.
Morning, Philo. Morning, everyone. Yeah, it we finally got the rain after 3 to 4 days. I said yesterday that I came here in weather which I couldn't see. And we see with De Silva and Tion Webster, the crease, they're looking very mature. And, they just need to continue that in order to push forward and hopefully get that remaining 137 runs to get a Red Force victory in their first game.
Yeah, there's no cricket at the moment because the covers are on. The ground staff went out earlier, just about 20 minutes ago, and they started to take the covers off before the heavens opened. And God said, just give me a few more minutes to rest, and I will allow you to get your cricket on the way. As we speak, the third umpire is making his way out on the field, the head groundsman. But obviously, cricket will play today. At what time, we are not certain. But I think that this game is evenly poised. And we will take a break and we will return as soon as the action restarts here at Taruba. And welcome back to the Brian Law Cricket Academy here in Taruba. And finally, those big white covers and that yellow one is off the square. And the Windward Volcanoes players, led by their captain Kurt Evers, they are like vultures. They're out on that outfield with a spring in their steps, like it's summertime. Although it's close to Christmas and it's quite cool at nights. Good morning and welcome back. I'm Philo Wallace. With me is Vijal Ramnarang. This is a 360 cricket production on behalf of Cricket West Indies. The Trinidad and Tobago Red Force, they have a game on their hand that started on Thursday. And when they bowl out the Windward Volcano for 206, they thought it would have been over on Saturday. But they had to come back Nick today, Sunday, and they are fighting.
Yeah, they are. As we see, Joshua Da Silva and Tion Webster's walking out to the crease. We hear a loud round of applause from the people that are braving this weather to come out here today, Philo. You know, it's good to see these two young men taking the pressure on their shoulders, and they need to drill forward and move on to get a win here.
The last night I was here with the ground staff and the Utica people. We had what we would call a libation and a discussion, brief dialogue, a social rapport. And then we were leaving the commentary team. Joshua Da Silva's parents, they came out of their pickup and they were quite chuffed at what he's doing. They were quite happy to what we are saying about him and the commentary. So actually something is going well for him. He has a big fan base. I mean, obviously he'll be hoping this morning that he can really get into Silva, because I see him as the key. Because he's the one who carries that calmness and he has the ability to really strike the ball around. And obviously Tion Webster, a talent, but yet to fire, he got out very poorly in the first innings. He'll obviously want to make amends here. Lewis is going to pick up the attack. He's going to start proceedings from the northern end. He's bowling to a slip, a backward point, a gully, a point on the boundary, extra cover, mid-off, mid-on, mid-wicket, man behind square on the boundary, and a long leg. And Tion Webster is going to face up to the first delivery on this fourth and final day of the West Indies Championship 2018-2019. A good delivery. Right on the money.
Tion Webster looks good there. He looks solid already, coming forward, getting that bat in the line of that ball, playing that ball down. He looks compact there, Philo. It looks as if the rest did him well.
Yes, the rest were doing well, but also Lewis looks good. He obviously that put effort into that first ball, which is required from this West Indies fast bowler, just back from India and Bangladesh with Windies senior side. So he'll want to prove a point here on this fourth and final morning. But it's a good start both by the batsman and also the bowler.
Yeah, we see as Lewis prepares for his second, runs up past umpire Brathwaite.
Not a good delivery. Actually, he swings the ball away. I was speaking to Kyle Hope yesterday, the opening batsman for the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force, and he said he was a lot faster. But obviously he had a knee injury. And we know how injuries are fast bowlers. We know the story is always in the back of your mind. So obviously it plays on your ability to really get through, your action and come back as quickly as before. But obviously we are hoping that this young man, as a work in progress, I see it for him, and he can obviously mature and help lead win this fast bowling attack.
Yeah, we see a lot of fast bowlers nowadays, especially getting injuries, but they come back well, a little slower, but well. Another good ball there, and a quick single taken by Webster, and Da Silva running to the danger end there and just survives because the fielder at that position misses the stumps there, Philo. You think that was close, Philo?
I think that's crazy. And he's a Calypsonian in this country. He got a good ball on length. Swing again from Lewis. This is Tion Webster. He opened the bat face, soft hands, but Hodge is a left-hander, and the ball was going to his strong side.
One of the quickest in the fields that we've seen from the past couple of days.
So all I can say, that is crazy.
I think Webster had some butterflies in his stomach there coming out into this fourth morning, and he just wanted to get off the mark.
Well, there's a lot of time to get those butterflies out. But at the end, no one was run out. But Da Silva obviously sprinting, got stretch his hamstrings, and now Da Silva is going to face his first delivery of the morning from Lewis. Good delivery, bang on target again, just short of a length, and Da Silva in that approved manner just stands up and pushes into the offside. Hodges there. So a good start from Lewis and also from the two Trinidad and Tobago Red Force batsmen.
Lewis looks fluent running in. He looks, nice and tight with his line and also his length. Whereas Da Silva and Webster, they're continuing from yesterday where they left off, getting that front foot in place, getting that bat there, playing that ball down, and they're looking to move forward and score some runs.
And it's day 4 as well.
And it's day 4.
So they should be looking to come forward as Lewis once again at the top of his mark, go past umpire Gregory Braffett. Another good delivery, squares the Silva up, and he just punches into the offside in that gully where Gabriel feels, and he's rubbing that ball very, very viciously. He's obviously looking to impart as much shine as possible. He's trying to get as much shine on that ball as Bridge Parsnaf has in his hair.
Let's hope he can't get something on that ball so that Lewis can use that. I've seen many attempts at using various parts of your body to put sweat on that ball, but I don't think they'll be sweating just yet, and I don't think they'll be using what Bridge uses in his hair.
No, I hope not. He uses something called Vaseline. As Lewis moves away from us, the ball to De Silva, ball on the leg stamp, and just work quite nicely into the leg side. He will pick up his first run of the morning, De Silva.
And for every run that these two young men score here, you'd hear the dugout of the TNT Red Force. They clap, they make noise because they see the encouragement being needed here as Lewis finishes his 10th over for this innings.
Yes, obviously that encouragement is wanting, because when you look at it, this game is very, very evenly poised. It's on a nice edge. I don't want to put the razor blade edge, but it's on a nice edge. And also we're going to see Shane Shillingford. He's going to pick up the attack from the southern end. I think I told him last night that I'm going to ask the authorities in charge of Taruba to rename that end the Shane Shillingford end. But again, he's going to start proceedings. He's bowling over the wicket to Josh De Silva. It looks like he's bowling to a mid-off, short extra cover. A point on the boundary, because De Silva is looking to hit him square, slip, a silly mid on a mid-wicket, a long on a deep mid-wicket, and a deep backward square. But if it had some rain, how would that affect Shane Shillingford in gripping the ball?
Well, we see, as with any dew or any rain or any sort of moisture, Shillingford would get some problems here to grip that ball. But we see a lot of, yesterday it was red pieces of cloth, today it's blue pieces of cloth. Could they be hoping that the ball does not get what our trainees would like to say, mildewed here?
Well, the first ball, De Silva punches it down to long on to pick up yet another single, so he's gone into that wet outfield. So, and again, a poor piece of delivery from Delon Johnson. He just threw the ball out of the reach of Shillingford, and again it runs into more wet grass.
Delon Johnson has not been looking like Delon Johnson of yesteryear. He's been looking very lackadaisical, very his shoulders are down. I don't understand what's happening with this young man, Philo.
Just psychological. Andre Coley and the backroom staff will have to work on that, as Tion Webster is looking to take his first delivery from Shane Shillingford. The ball just take outside edge, and he just goes into the offside. Devon Smith moves away from slip to a backward point. And another single.
Nice work from Tion Webster to keep rotating the strike here, which is needed. And we see that once they keep on rotating that strike, Philo, and those runs come one by one, it tends to cut down that target of 133 more left to win this game.
Shillingford tainted De Silva, and De Silva drives quite pleasantly up the pitch, and Shillingford fields to his own bowling, no run resulting. But when you look at De Silva, he looks quite calm. He's assured of himself. When he's driving, he gets into a very good position to execute the drive. Shillingford, once again, from the southern end, past umpire Linda Rajkumar, the ball to De Silva, and that ball obviously hit the pad and eludes Gabriel at back pad. No danger at all.
No, he's looking good so far. As you rightly mentioned, Philo, we met with De Silva's parents yesterday. Nice, genuine, pleasant people. I found it a great pleasure that to see parents coming out here and supporting their son in his first game.
Yes, Shillingford once again from the side and balls to De Silva. He gives himself room and just taps that ball down behind point. That is Jordan giving chase, moving to his left, but he cannot stop the batsman coming back for two. But his arm.
Bullet arm there.
I don't really want to use that word. It's very strong. In Trinidad and Tobago, bullet and gun. I know I said he has a very strong arm. but it was flat too, wasn't it?
Yeah, flat, straight. The keeper took it just over his head. Good power.
Yeah, it's a good arm.
I'm hoping to see Jordan in the attack this morning also.
Well, we'll see how it goes. Yesterday it was the Charles and Khan show. Shillingford once again to bowl to De Silva, and De Silva goes forward and defends, pushes back on the offside of the pitch, and Shillingford just goes to his left and stops the ball. So after that first Shillingford's over, with many more to come. Trinidad and Tobago Red Force in hunt of 270 for victory in this second game of the West Indies Championship 2019. They are 137 for 5.
Joshua Da Silva on 29 from 71 balls. Tion Webster on 8 from 36 balls. These young men here showing the maturity and the class which is required to get this score.
Yes, 139 for 5. So they're just 131 more runs is required by Trinidad and Tobago Red Force to win this game. But the Volcanoes obviously be looking to make a breakthrough. They obviously be thinking, how are we going to get one of these two batsmen out? And be sort of how this game has gone, Nick. And I keep asking if you were dreaming, but your dreams seem to be coming true. After lunch, everything falls down. As Lewis moves away from us, the ball to Tion Webster. Short ball on Webster just turns it into the leg side, pushes that first run hard, and that's all he will get. As Alec Anthony's moves from that mid-wicket area to backward square, fires the throw to Dennis Smith. So again, we're seeing the importance of getting the ball into the outfield and rotating the strike. Lewis is bowling to a slip, a gully, a deep point on the boundary, an extra cover, a mid-off, a mid-on, a mid-wicket, a deep backward square, and a long leg. So he has the protection on both sides. So at least his captain wants him to bowl wicket to wicket. And on day 4, you were expecting fast bowlers to bowl wicket to wicket on a decent line and length.
You know, Phil, and you've been saying that all game. You know, they need to bowl within that corridor of uncertainty. They need to look for that doorway. And once they get the ball in there, that batsman would definitely poke his head out.
I know they're making a field change, actually. They're bringing the man from deep backward square into a short mid-wicket. They move Alec Anthony from that mid-wicket area. He's going to a short, he's going into maybe a second gully, it looks like. A square cover
More
catching.
square to point, yeah.
Yeah, so he's bowling with a slip, a gully, a square cover catching just in front, a deep point, an extra cover, a mid-off. Runs away from us, Lewis, and bowls to the Silva, and the Silva just stays on the back foot and punches it just in the offside. And Alec Anthony just trots to his left and pick the ball up. But a strange feel, Nick.
I think they're trying. Just deciding. Kirk Edwards has decided he had to try something new. He had a small discussion with his bowler there. His bowler requested that change, and you know he just probably wants a little more protection on that offside, so that you know he wants to try to keep that line and that length outside of that off stump.
So he's going to try to encourage the Silva then.
That's right. To
drive, and if he's not in control, he'll pop a catch to one of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 men on the offside. He certainly can't get the point in the air. A good delivery, and the Silva just punches it square down to the sweeper, Delon Johnson. And he picks up another single, and you can hear the applause from that Red Force bench.
You know, it would have been a good discussion last night coming from Kelvin Williams, the coach, and Roland Sampa, the manager, to these boys, letting them know, you know, we have the support. Let's hear you guys supporting these two young batsmen in Da Silva and Webster, even if they just keep rotating the strike.
Yeah, and it's a good challenge for the two young batsmen as well, because we know how the young cricketers, they see red ball cricket as boring.
Yeah,
but you have two young men from the same club, the Queen's Park Cricket Club, looking to battle and obviously win this game for Red Force, as Alec Anthony is going to a short extra cover, catching using the eye line of Tion Webster. As Lewis again moves away from us, goes past Gregory Bradford, bowls to Webster, and Webster comes forward, very circumspect.
Yeah, that one just coming off the inside edge of the bat, being played onto the pad there. And I think getting Anthony's into that line of sight into the batsman there and having a man just behind him, it's probably putting some doubt there in the Silva's mind. But he has to remember there's
Webster.
now... Oh, sorry, Tion Webster. In that, you know, it now creates a more open space there that he can find to place that ball if Lewis continues putting that ball outside the off stump.
But it's a good field place, you know.
Excellent.
I like it, because once the batsman looks up and sees Alec Anthony's in his eyesight, he obviously might take his eye off the ball and look at Alec and maybe get out. So Lewis again to Webster, and Webster, a very good delivery, just holding its own on top of that off stump. He poked at it, and then he decided just to withdraw his bat at the last minute. But good carry through to Dennis Smith, the keeper.
You know, on a day 4 to see that type of carry from Lewis here, it shows it brings encouragement, and possibly Kirk Edwards may try something different other than Shillingford from the Shillingford head.
Not that Dennis Smith is Ling Fong Wong, who is tall, but the ball carry head height.
Yeah, which is not bad.
I don't think he'll remove Shillingford. I think Shillingford he had his injection, his pills, his energy stops. He just knows he's gonna bowl all day.
He's not gonna move.
No.
Without a fight anyway.
Lewis still reps now. York, and he just whips it quite nicely. Will it have the legs to get to the boundary? Yes, it beats Jordan, who was at long leg, and down to the boundary for four. The first boundary of the morning, but a well-played stroke there by Tion Webster.
Kept his eyes on the ball, realized that it was heading down to the middle to leg stump, and just clipped it off his ankles there, and it looked beautiful.
Yeah, good timing. With that four, the score moves on to 145 for 5. Webster is in double figures now. He's moved on to 30. De Silva is on 32. 50 overs have been bowled. There's 7 extras. The 87 overs remain. And if you use all 87, something has to be wrong. and they just required 124 more runs to win this game, the Red Force. So 125 more runs to win this game. So they have started in the right frame of mind.
Yeah, that's correct. The partnership with 42 so far, they've continued where they left off yesterday evening, and they just need to push forward with that flow.
A Shillingford to De Silva. De Silva goes back, that ball turning back into the right-hander. Didn't feel clearly by Gabriel at short leg, but no, they had no inclination to go for a single. So De Silva just needs to be careful here when he's looking to go back. If you're going to go back to Shillingford, you're going to keep your eyes on the ball. And then you're going to be, we saw with Kyle Hope yesterday, he went back to one and was struck in front and was IBW. And De Silva looking to just work this ball behind point. Ray Jordan looking to tease him.
Oh, De Silva running hard there to see if he could get that second run. Tion Webster puts his hand up and says no.
I wouldn't trust that Jordan's arm.
Yeah, as we saw just now.
Yeah, if he just jogged there to say, well, take 2, and then you rifle it in.
That's right.
You know, but a good shot, dangerous, but he watched the ball onto the bat, and he's obviously looking to score, which is good. He doesn't want Shillingford to just bowl at him.
They have to keep in mind, though, that Shillingford is very crafty, and he has that quicker ball, that quicker, flatter ball, which has gotten his return so far.
Yes, and he's in his 23rd over Shillingford. He has 3 for 55. He bowls to Webster. Webster comes forward, and they're asked for appeal. And he's out caught, actually. He's a brilliant catch there by Gabriel, diving full stretch to his left. And Tion Webster has to depart. Just coming forward and taking a tick inside edge, the ball ricocheting off the pad, and Gabriel holding on to a beautiful catch, and he has to go on. Red Force have lost their first wicket. They're now 146 for 6.
Full stretch there by Gabriel to his left, and he looked amazing taking that catch there. Webster goes for 13 from 40 balls. Partnership broken. The overnight partnership broken here, and we have to see. What consolidation can be made now, and the plan here would have to be, as these lower order batsmen coming in, they would have to bat around De Silva having to take the share or the majority of the responsibility here.
Yeah, and something I really need to stress on is that you see ultra defensive approach from the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force batsmen against Shillingford. Mm-hmm. The only one who is looking to be innovative and scoring is Joshua De Silva. He's going to leg and pushing the ball into the offside and picking the singles. We saw Webster just get a normal ball on just middle and off stump and just turning into him, actually. He just plunked forward and just maybe chipping and just hitting it to the right of mid-wicket and picking up a single because his mindset is so defensive. And sometimes when you're in that defensive mindset, it hurts you as a batsman.
Yeah, and we saw yesterday, with a short time spent by Jason Mohammed at the crease, coming in and being aggressive towards Shillingford. He sort of surprised Shillingford with that aggression, and we saw Shillingford lose his way with a couple of those deliveries. And that is, I think, what is needed against Shillingford to score runs against them.
One of the Red Force batsmen that are remaining, Captain Imran Khan, he has come out to join Joshua De Silva. No slouch was the bat at this level, Imran Khan. He didn't score in the first innings. And obviously, he will surely want to make amends in this second innings. But he's come up with his team just a little behind. Lost that 6 wicket at 146. They lost it in the first, let's say, 45 minutes of play. We still start at 10 o'clock. We start at 25 past. So I would still say we lost it in the first 20 minutes of play. So that is not a good dismissal at all. As Shillingford into Khan, he just goes back and defends. He's so cool. Imran Khan, he shows no emotions at all.
Which could be a good thing and a bad thing also, but he really needs to step it up and not to sound cliched, have a captain's knock here today.
It's important that he tries to do that as Shillingford into him, goes back and just plays the ball into the onside. Again, no run result, and the score remains in 146 for 6. His alias is Sharky. And he's not even a fisherman.
Not that we know of. but I think they call him. I think the reason being called for that is that because he shows no expression and he attacks at you.
Okay.
You know, that's the reason why they call him the Shark.
Shilliford into Canny goes back and just defends quite nicely. The ball drops on the onside of the pitch. And Gabriel, who just took a fantastic catch at silly mid-on, he feels the ball. And at the end of that successful Shane Shillingford's over, the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force looking to get up to 270 for victory. They're 146 for 6.
Shane Shillingford just completed his 23rd over of the innings, his second of the day, with figures of 4 wickets for 55 runs.
Yeah, he's bowled wonderfully well from that southern end, which is against the run of play, Nick. But he the ability that he has and the control that he has is unbelievable. And you just want to commend him for the hard work he has done and the good contributions that he has made or have given to Windward Islands cricket. And he continues, obviously, to show his class. It's going to be Lewis, it looks like, who's going to continue for the Northern End. He's in a long discussion with his captain, Kurt Edwards, as he sorts his shoes out. And the shoes nowadays are so nice. You would know, Nick. He's bowling to a slip, a gully, a deep point, an extra cover, a mid-off, a mid-on, a mid-wicket, a forward, a deep backward square, and a long leg. And it looks like Shillingford, who's at mid-on, and just rubbing that ball in his trousers. So it's good to have Shillingford close to this young man because he's taking the wickets. They're bowling in partnership. So obviously he will have a lot of advice as well to share with Lewis.
That's right. You know, having the captain on one side of you and your strike bowler from the other end on the other side of you, it shows the support and the encouragement.
Yeah, now we're seeing a feeling change. Alec Anthony's has moved from mid-wicket to that square cover just in front. Cover on, and he's pretty deep, and there's a man stays on that deep backward square leg boundary, so there's lots of space on that leg side, and that ball is just crunched to the right of Gabriel at gully, and he dived full stretch to his right. Didn't feel cleanly, but he prevented any chance of a single as Alec Anthony was there to do the cleaning up. So I like where Kurt Edwards has his 3 best fielders. Gabriel is at gully, Alec Anthony is just in front of cover on the offside, and Hodge is that extra cover.
Yep.
So to get through there, you got to play a good cricket shot. And with Lewis bowling a good line and length, you have Devon Smith at slip, who doesn't really drop a lot of catches. So this is a good ring of fielders on the offside as Lewis to De Silva, and De Silva just picks up the line of the ball and allows it to go through, and the keeper takes it waist height.
Nice carry for a day 4 pitch. We have to commend the ground staff here, especially the head curator, for the work done on this pitch and for keeping it in such good condition.
I think the key to having this surface whole for the 4 days is the grass. So not all grass is bad, and I said grass and not weed. So obviously, and you see that the entire square, Nick, is covered with green grass.
Nice.
And he told me last night that is the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
And I agree with him. As Lewis moves away from us at another end to bowl to De Silva, full length delivery drives it to middle of Kurt Edwards is in the way. But I like the look of Lewis here. He's stringing more good deliveries together.
He came out a lot more positive this morning. He started well, looking more compact while running in. A good fluent motion and strong into that crease and getting that ball into that proper line and length.
Maybe Bridge Parsnip had a word with him yesterday because he speaks to a lot of cricketers, and then the next day they come and perform. But we'll listen to his comments when he joins us in another couple of minutes as Lewis moves away from us at the northern end to bowl to De Silva. And De Silva drives the ball, takes the outside edge and bounces in front of Devon Smith at slip. He parries it to his right, but he could not prevent De Silva from getting the single. So a moral victory there from Lewis.
The plan seems to be working, Philo. They get De Silva into that drive, and they got him to actually get one off that outside edge.
Yeah, but unfortunately it went to ground rather quickly. But Devon Smith did well to obviously stop. They tried to stop the ball because if the ball had gone past him, it would have gone for 4. But he got a single, and he's going to bring now Imran Khan into strike. Imran Khan is very cool, huh? And if Lewis can get the first ball on target, could be in some trouble. He's bowling out to a slip, a gully. Alec Anthony has moved from that cover point. He's gone to mid-wicket, where Imran Khan was caught in the first innings. A mid on a long leg, a extra cover, a mid off on the man sweeping on the point boundary. Lewis, at the top of his mark, turns and goes past Gregory Braffett to bowl to Imran Khan. Imran Khan just pushes this one down to mid on, and there's no single.
And the reason for moving on to this, yeah, as you rightly said, Philo, is for that because he got out being caught in that position in the first innings. And you saw Lewis trying that again, putting that ball in that middle and leg stump, trying to get Imran to flick at it again.
Yeah, but then man also have to be careful because Lewis swings the ball away from the right-handed batsman. He's actually a natural outswing bowler. So if he's looking to flick at that full-length delivery and he's not in control, he can either flick out or flick it straight to Anthony again.
That's correct. That's correct.
So he just needs to be careful. But this is a good bowling. This is a good session of play so far for the Windward Volcanoes and the Red Force. Lewis still can't get the ball down the leg side. Looks to tickle it, but Dennis Smith, the diminutive wicketkeeper, just dives to his left. David Williams, who's the assistant coach, will be quite happy, and he tumbles and then tosses it to Devon Smith. At the end of that over, Trinidad and Tobago Red Force, they're 147 for 6, looking to get up to 207-0.
And not a difficult, as you would say, slippery mountainous task. They can do it. They need to sit. They need to consolidate. They need to get small goals. Philo can still on North from the 4 balls that he's faced so far. De Silva on 34. De Silva, I would have to say the shining light so far of the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force innings. 34 from 80 balls. He looks in good touch at this level.
But it had some rain, so the mountain will be slippery. Shillingford is going to continue from the center that he's going to go to Joshua De Silva, who is the light that is shining on the Red Force thus far. Shillingford into De Silva. De Silva just defends the ball into the offside. Thinking about the single, but Anthony has moved swiftly to his left. No run result. He's bowling to a deep point. Extra cover, a long off, a long on, silly mid on, a slip, a mid wicket, a deep mid wicket, and a backward square on the boundary. Shillingford to Joshua De Silva, who is on 34. And De Silva drives down to the long off and will pick up an easy single. Roland Cato just shocks round to his left, picks the ball up, but a good shot again from De Silva.
Yeah, he looks good in there. Yeah, he played that well. He's looking to get the runs going. He's looking to play himself in this morning, and he's the most positive player I've seen from this Red Force team.
Yeah, he looks good. He looks compact. Obviously, he's assured of what he wants to do. He's hitting the ball where he's going, and that is commendable. That's Imran Khan faces up to Shillingford. Khan comes forward. Ball takes the inner portion of the bat and runs behind square on the leg side. Lewis is there, but there was no chance of a run. How important is going to be Imran Khan in this partnership?
Imran Khan needs, as I said earlier, and not to be cliched, he needs to play a captain's knock. He needs to settle down and support De Silva, who is a set batsman here, and he really needs to show his grit.
Imran Khan drives quite nicely off the pads. He looks good when he's playing shots like that, all along the ground, down to that deep mid-wicket fielder who is Hodge, and he gets off the mark. Red Force 149 for 6, and they still require another 121 runs to win.
I'm very surprised to see the relaxed field placement. Because I would assume that Shillingford getting that wicket early on of Tion Webster, they would have applied a lot more pressure. But 5 men on the boundary here, Philo, it's a little astonishing.
And that's why the Red Force needs to use common sense. I don't know if they have wash pans where they live, but maybe washing machines of common sense here. Just bat them and wear the Windward Volcanoes down. As that ball is pitched on the leg stump, and let's see if he got any bat on that. This is because he's going to run over the ropes for 4. He's going for 4 byes. I don't think Dennis Smith is going to be happy at all because keepers don't like umpires to signal byes. But there's 4 good runs to the Red Force. They move on now to 153, the total for 6. De Silva is on 35. Khan is on 1. And the required runs to win is 117.
You know, with that run target, that run chase reaching 117, should they get that down to 100 runs, it'll be a moral victory and it'll give a little more a glimmer of hope to the Red Force here. To get that target, we see Khan having moved on to 1 run from 7 balls. Joshua De Silva looking really good this morning, 35 runs from 83 balls. Shillingford just completing his 24th over, 4 wickets for 57 runs. And we see Lewis coming back, continuing his attack actually, going into his 13th over, 31 runs. No reward just yet this morning. But the way he's bowling, Philo, we should see some sort of reward if the Red Force slips.
Yeah, obviously Lewis should be commended here for supporting Shane Shillingford, who has obviously picked up the most wickets in the innings thus far. Shillingford, Lewis moves away from us to bowl to Imran Khan, the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force captain, and he just defends the ball into the offside. Gabriel just moves to his right there, Gully, and picks the ball up, a no-run resulting. During the turnover for the over, we saw the physio coming out and attending to Tariq's Gabriel left hand. Obviously, he took a very brilliant catch to dismiss Tion Webster. He must have maybe scuffed his finger up. As I say good morning to Bridge Sparrow staff.
Good morning to you, Philo.
How
Good
are
morning
you?
to all our viewers.
How are you?
Great.
I can see that. I can see G all over your face. As Lewis moves away from us to bowl to Imran Khan. And Khan in behind it and defends on the offside. No run resulting.
Yeah, a very important period here for the Tobago Red Force, but I think the Windward Islands Volcanoes, they're very happy to see the back of Tion Webster, who's got 178 last year against the Jamaican Scorpions on this venue. Very talented young player, but seems not to be in rhythm, not getting his stroke play right, and I'm sure that dismissal there, fantastic reflex catch there by Tariq Gabriel at forward square. He'll be disappointed having gone back to the pavilion, not making a big contribution here today. This is Lewis, balls to Khan, plays it straight to the gully position. Gabriel fields, attempts to throw it in on strikers in, but Tion Webster has gone. There is young Joshua De Silva. Very impressed with him yesterday afternoon, Philo. I like his footwork. I like his movement forward and backward. He's controlling his movement around the crease, getting close to the line, and his stroke play is just beautiful to watch.
He has very good mannerisms for a cricketer.
Yeah, he looks good. I'm impressed. I would say I'm impressed. He's look balanced, very balanced. Lewis bowls to Khan. Strokes is up the track to Lewis, and last year we look back at the Trinidad and Tobago team against this Windward Islands Volcanoes. They won at the Queen's Park Oval. They won by a big margin, by 10 wickets. But this year it seems that they have to fight for victory. Lewis got 5 wickets last year at the Queen's Park Oval. We were all impressed with him. Got 5 for 64. Trinidad and Tobago Red Force made 402 in that match, and 24 without loss. The win was 166 and 259. This is Khan plays it on the onside, straight to the fielder. Imran Khan has to play not only at captain's knock, he has to play a match-winning knock if they have to win it. He has to stay there and support De Silva. De Silva very confident and fluid in terms of his movement, forward and backwards.
But Bridge, Imran Khan has to play a batsman's role here. If Red Force is supposed to get up to 270, Joshua De Silva is there. He's controlling the innings. I think he's quite aware of what he has to do. They've lost Tion Webster against the run-off player. Very soft dismissal for such a talented player. He's going through a little constipation in his cricket. But Imran Khan obviously has to try and forge a partnership and push the Windward Volcano bowlers back. This is a good delivery from Lewis.
Yes, Lewis has been very impressive from the northern end. He struggled from the southern end where we saw him in the first innings. And having switched to the northern, he seems to have got his rhythm right. And initially yesterday, he didn't have it correctly, but I think he's quite happy now. The Red Force requires 117 to win. They have all day long to get that total. When we look at the board, it's 83 overs to go. There are threat of rain, I would say. The dark clouds away in the eastern horizon. Some people are praying, hoping that there's rain to save the Red Force. But the Red Force, I think that they feel confident that they could get this run with the way that De Silva applied himself yesterday and continue the same way this morning. Imran Khan could bat. We saw Daniel Sinclair last year with Dinesh Ramdin. And Brian Charles supporting with Dinesh got 100 against Barbados. Shillingford bowls to De Silva, strokes it on the onside, and he looks very solid.
Yeah, but I think it's two bridges that if De Silva continues to bat the way he's batting, he needs support from the other end. I think the key to this run chase is that if you can get both batsmen to score from each end, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, that'll be a good policy, but in terms of looking to want to play too many shots against the way...
Looking to score bridge doesn't mean playing a lot of shots. It just goes to common sense. We saw Tion Webster got a bat pad. If he just use his feet and just chip the ball, he could hit it to the right of Edwards, but he just stood his ground. He's such in a negative frame of mind. And these two players, De Silva and Imran Khan, a lovely shot from De Silva down to mid-off, down to long-off, brings a single. And those are the kind of things kind of shots that they need to play. Drive the ball, get the ball off of you, because if you allow Shillingford to bowl at you, He's going to get one to maybe bounce and you'll get out.
Or even keep low.
Or keep low. So it's
Yeah.
important that the Red Force try to keep the scoring rate ticking over. If they don't get the boundaries, the ones and the twos will also add up.
Well, that's the key. You don't want too many big strokes, right? And this is Shillingford, having got 6 in the first innings. He has picked up 4, so he's got 10 wickets all.
Yeah, another 10 wicket haul to his illustrious career at this level.
I think this is his 11th 10 wicket haul, if I recall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's been very prolific and very successful for the Windwards Volcanoes over the years.
I would like to see Imran Khan show a bit more intent when he's batting against Shillingford. He looks, I know he's quite cool, Sharky, that's his alias, but he just needs to try and don't keep the silver cold. Try to keep the blood warm and keep things just ticking over quite nicely. It's not beyond them to get up to this 270, but it calls for a good batting approach. As this ball is just full length and Imran Khan just drops it in front of him on the onside. He even, he just defended the ball and it was like no care in the world. As a good man, Prakash, Prakash.
He's the best.
Bridge.
He's the best that we have around.
Nobody asks for the president of Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board. They ask for Prakash. And he wears some lovely shirts. He's now wearing Ghana Amazon Warriors. Yesterday, he had on a Barbados Pride.
He's
He
a,
has
he's a
more
West Indian, he's a West Indian supporter.
He has more cricket shirts than I do.
Yeah. Well, he's in position to earn the right.
Yes, okay.
Right. Yeah.
And we are just
We have to
mere mortals.
congratulate him.
I congratulate him with my hat off.
Yes, he got the award from the Trinidad and Tobago Women Cricket Association, and fantastic for them to recognize the great job he has done over the years.
Yeah, he deserves it, and
Yeah.
even more. And our good friend Avi, who is there with his beard, out, edge, wide of first slip, and down to third man for 4 runs.
That's not a good shot, Dave Fielder Wallace. That's a get-out shot, but it's too far away from the first slip fielder. Even Superman wouldn't get there. So it's a safe shot in the end. We've seen being played. I see Virat Kohli played after he got 100. He played that safe shot over the top and got a 6.
Yes.
Right? So it means that these guys feel at some stage that they could play the shot with confidence and knowing that no one will be there to take the
But
catch.
Kohli played that shot at Perth. You don't get a drive at Perth. All the balls are back to the length, and it's good pace. I saw Mitchell Stark this morning bowling at 92 miles an
It
hour.
was really impressive.
So that is at Perth.
Yeah.
Here at Barrel Academy, you get it to maybe 85 with that ball.
Or
It was
75, you mean?
a little too close to him.
Give it a plenty.
The silver. As Lewis entered the silver, and the silver is looking to nibble at it and then withdraw the bat at the last minute, and the ball zips through to wicketkeeper Dennis Smith. But we're now seeing Lewis looking to get the ball to swing off a better length than before. He was a little fuller in the first couple of overs, but now he's hit that 3/4 length, which I think is ideal for him, and he's also getting the ball to carry through. If I was Kurt Edwards, I would take out Roland Cato from deep forward square and put him at second slip and bring the fine leg to that forward square leg and just ask Lewis to bowl just on about the off stump with that away movement.
Yeah, you could do that as well as a good strategy, but I think they wanted don't give too much of room or area for young.
Where is he going to go aerial if the bowler
Well,
bowls
if,
the right line
if
and length?
guys come close and he can go over the top, it's a
How,
safe
with the
shot.
outswinger? Bridge?
you
If a
can
man is
pull.
bowling how you can pull a length outswinger
No, they're not outswinger, but the ball is outside line of the off stump. You
So
can get across towards the
and
off
pull
stump.
it where?
You ever see Viv Richards bat?
Yeah, but he wouldn't do that.
Viv Richards pulling from outside the line of the off
No,
stump?
the ball has to be bouncing, Bridge.
No, but mid wicket would be vacant.
No, how you get the ball to mid-wicket when it's leaving, Bridge? Come on, you're a coach. If the ball is swinging away from a right-handed batsman, Bridge, on length, how is he going to get it into mid-wicket?
but
Is he
what-
batting with a hole?
No, what I'm saying is all now the deliveries will go away. Some will be straightened.
No, I don't want any straighten. I want all leaving the bat. All. I'm giving you 7 men in the offside to create pressure on that off stump. If the batsman wants to hit round the ball and get out, so be. Lewis moves away from us, the ball to De Silva. Good delivery. De Silva drives down the pitch. Kurt Edwards moves to his right, no run resulting. But I want to challenge De Silva to hit the ball into the leg side on length. Let me see how brave he is, Bridge.
There are only 2 guys I could think could have done that. Andy Roberts and Malcolm Marshall. In my time watching the cricket.
So Curtly Ambrose can do that?
No, he will get the ball come back into you,
So
but not to
Curtly-
leave. Yes, to leave you.
So Curtly
all
leave you on
6.
length.
Yeah.
I faced Sir Curtly all of my life.
Okay,
As
brother.
a first class cricketer. No, a lot of balls come in. He bowls a good line of length just about off
Or
stump.
some.
A
Just
lot
some.
of balls are just on top of that off stump.
Right.
Very hard to get
But
away.
to leave them to go away, Malcolm Marshall was the king for that. Himself and Andy Roberts. Those are the 2 giants.
And this ball is pushed into the leg side. And Cato, like a hare rabbit, coming off of that mid-wicket boundary and limited the batsman to a single. So good work there from Cato. not a bad line delivery, but well played by De Silva, just waiting the ball off and working into the light side and brings Imran Khan in to strike. And if I was Kurt Edwards, I would put Alec Anthony's in second slip right at mid wicket.
And there are two other guys from Barbados. You would have seen Sylvester Clark and Ezra Mosley.
Yeah.
Yeah, those two guys were very good at it. They could hit that ball at that particular spot and get the ball to leave the right hander going
So
away.
you've called 3 Barbados and an Antiguan. You haven't called a Guyanese bowlers yet. As Lewis, at the top of his mark, moves away from us here to bowl to Imran Khan. He's bowling to a slip of gully, extra cover mid off, a mid wicket, a mid on, a deep backward square and a long leg. And Khan just comes quietly forward, pushes into the offside. And that is the first ball that Tyreek Gabriel has misfield.
That, in the game, you always have a force.
He is amazing.
No,
is
he's
always on
fantastic.
point.
He's focused, and that's the most important. He's focused. That's why he was able to take that catch.
Maybe his hair is in his eyes because he doesn't have his hat
I
on.
don't know.
And he's a
I
dreadlock.
don't know.
I have no hair. The only thing
Yeah.
that gets into my eyes is wind
Yeah.
and dust.
But there are two Guyanese bowlers who are good at that.
Yes.
Ray Joseph, you
Mhm.
probably might have seen Ray
Yeah.
Joseph. He was good at that, getting the ball to leave.
Yeah.
And there's Keith Cameron.
I thought you were going to call Lyndon Joseph.
No, Lennon Joseph.
Barrington Brown.
No,
Wow.
they were not great swing bowlers.
You're a hard taskmaster.
No, they were good bowlers, but not good swing bowlers. Getting the ball to leave 6 times, Ray Joseph.
Okay.
Keith
alright.
Cameron was the only other guy.
Okay. As Lewis bowls to De Silva short and De Silva stands up on the back foot and punches it into the offside. Alec Anthony's is there, no run result. And at the end of an eventful over from Lewis, Trinidad and Tobago Red Force, they're searching British Sparks now to get it to 100 and 270 for victory. They're 160 for 6. Khan is not out on 2 and De Silva is not out on 41. As I would take my break, and Ronnie Brick Ramdas is going to join British Sparks now. A lovely combination. My golly.
Yes.
You look so nice this morning. You look you're well rested. Did you sleep for 10 hours?
No. If I watching Kohli batting, how are you going to sleep for 10 hours? That's the most magical thing could happen in life. Yeah, fantastic player.
He has
But-
the Australian stammering.
Yes. Never a dull moment. Philo? Never a dull moment in the commentary booth. No, and hold on to this. I was speaking to Joshua De Silva, mother and father, this morning. This ball from Shillingford played on the onside. And they said that his sister is in Australia. And she's logged on and she's wanting to know why the play hasn't started. Natalie is her name. So I want to say special good evening to Natalie. You're listening to us, my dear. Good evening from Trinidad and Tobago to you all the way down under in Australia. I'm sure you're glued into this broadcast and live streaming from the Banner Cricket Academy. I know that you may be missing sleep to see your brother, what he's doing, and he's fighting a brave battle out there. His first appearance, and he has done a fantastic job so far. I want to say special good morning to Ronnie Bikram Das. Good morning to you, Ronnie. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good, Bridge. Not as good as you, I can see.
Whenever we come here, we're always ready to go,
Oh,
regardless of
always,
the situation.
always,
Yeah,
correct,
we have to
yes.
go. Yeah.
So-
So a situation whereby Imran Khan, we have seen him over the years. He's capable of staying there. He has the staying power. He has the determination. He has all the strokes, and he will fight it to the end.
Yeah, and he's a captain of the team. He has to lead here. He has to show his leadership quality. And he is, as you mentioned, a very capable batsman. In his younger days, he used to open the bat.
I was going to say that.
Correct, yes.
You open for Trinidad and Tobago.
Correct. So he is very capable, and he needs to put an innings together here with De Silva, who, as you mentioned, looks very good,
Looks-
comfortable.
looks
at,
solid,
on
looks solid.
41.
He looks
Right?
determined. He's focused. I think he understands his limitations, but I think he has gone out with a special plan. He's going to play too many strokes on the back foot.
Yes.
Because he saw 2 of his senior partner got out yesterday, so I think maybe they had a quiet word with him.
Yes, and as you mentioned, Australia. Yesterday, I was looking at him. I was trying to figure out which player he looks like he resembles in his stroke making and whatever. And you know who's that player?
Tell me.
Shane Watson.
Shane Watson.
Shane Watson.
Well, probably
Look at
yes. Yeah, you're close, very close. I was
Look at
watching
it.
him yesterday, and the movement and his balance
Correct.
and his body build.
Mannerism. It
Yeah,
is
body build.
Shane Watson.
Yes.
He is the. He
But he
has
looks
that,
he looks like a special player.
he is.
He is working and his stroke technique, his stroke selection. I love that what I saw yesterday. I like what I see again today. And this is his first match. And I keep telling people your first game is your first big game.
It's your
First
first
impression
impression.
lasts.
Correct. Very well
right?
said.
I always
First
say that to the
impression.
players. And
Those
Brian
take
Lara,
pressure.
the same thing. He went out there against Barbados at the Oval, got 92, looking for the 100. I know he cried when he walked out. He got a bad decision. And Joel Garner just put his hand up. He didn't appeal, no vehement appeal, just put his hand up like that, and the umpire judged that he was out, and Brian took a long way. He was looking to get the 100 in his first appearance. Right,
So-
this is Lewis bowls. He's bowled him by beauty of a delivery. Beauty of a delivery there by Sherman Lewis. He left that ball alone, and Sherman Lewis was bowling the ball, leaving the right-hander all the time, and this is when he brought it back. That's a really special delivery there by Sherman Lewis. The Chantivigo Red Force in trouble, serious trouble, with the score now 160 for 7. Right,
Yes.
having lost Joshua De Silva. We are now talking about his great attributes and what he's doing, and what has he done? He just left that ball alone. He covered the off stump, but the ball swung right back.
Yeah,
And that's a good in swinger by Sherman Lewis.
it's
And
the slow one, yes, the off cutter.
yeah,
Yeah, it's the off cutter. Was deceived by that one. So a very good delivery there by Lewis. Just as you say, mentioning about talking about the young man and his abilities,
His
talent,
attributes.
and whatnot, and he just a little a little mental lapse there, if you want to put it that way.
no, but if you
And you could see the disappointment on his face.
yeah, but if you cover the off stump, the bat has to come. The bat is always there.
Yes.
Your pad is the second line of defense. Your bat is the first line of defense. So the bat was there. The bat was there. He left it alone, and
Yeah.
paid the price.
Yeah.
Odin Smith will replace him. We understand Odin Smith is attacking type of player. Whether that policy will be implemented, I'm not sure it's the right one. Right, but he needs to stay there. They need to work and get his singles and try to take this total very close. To they need 110.
Yeah, it's only 110.
It's looked like a mountain to climb. Right.
It's only 110. But considering you already lost 7 wickets,
Wickets,
that's
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 correct.
where the
Well, so you're
concern
down in
is.
the low order.
Correct. That's where
Unless
the
somebody
concern
something
is.
special. We saw last year Daniel Sinclair. We saw Brian Charles. I have the stats on him. I know he made, I think, was 5 runs, but he batted close. He batted almost close to 3 hours in partnership with Dinesh Ramdin. There's also Daniel Sinclair. I have the records on him, but I somewhere have it mixed up because there's so many records we're trying to go through here. And then when we look at it, is a situation whereby you need to score too. As much as you want to occupy the crease, somebody has to score.
Yes.
The guy who was doing that was
De Silva.
De Silva. Now that Chandigarh has lost him, right? The captain has to take that leadership role and maybe give instructions to Odin Smith. Maybe give him the license to go ahead and try to play his natural style,
Yeah.
right? I think that could be the better policy.
Yeah, well, yes, he would want him to play his natural game because he would be more comfortable playing that game. But yet, you don't want him to give his wicket away, right? Play within your limits,
But
as
we
you
know-
always say.
Yeah, but we're not sure how much.
Oh, what is his limit?
And for how long can he stay and be patient enough to watch ball after ball? Because in this match or the 4-day or Test cricket, one of the greatest attributes of any player is to leave the ball alone.
Yes,
To
yes,
read
definitely.
the game and to leave it alone. The more deliveries you leave alone, less chances of giving the opposition a chance.
Correct,
But he
giving the
left this
wicket
ball
away.
alone, the silver, and paid the price.
But it was a good delivery.
Very beautiful delivery.
Yeah, Lewis bowling line and length deliveries, tight on the stumps. So it shows. When you bowl line and length, when you bowl to that stump, you get your rewards, right? But it's persistently good bowling, and that gets a reward. So
The new batsman, Odin Smith, surveys the field. Hands akimbo. There are 2 slips in position. Gully, backward points far down deep into to the outside. Extra cover, mid off on the outside wide, mid on, mid wicket deep on the boundary, and a man on the long leg position. So a 6 to the field.
yeah. So the Windward Islands skipper Kirk Edwards, he sends in victory here. Only needed now another 3 wickets, and he's into the lower order.
Yeah,
So he would feel that he has a good chance of wrapping up this game pretty quickly now.
with the advantage with the Volcanoes. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely advantage Volcanoes now. With the loss of the silver wicket, it's
Yeah.
definitely advantage Volcanoes.
Yes, and they will be much more focused. They'll be eager, more enthusiastic. We saw it yesterday. The fielders supporting the bowlers,
Tremendously.
the body language, the attitude was right. This is Lewis bowls to Smith, plays at the full face of the bat, runs it to short extra cover, no run.
And now we see a little drizzle, slight rain sprinkling across the field. That is not good news for the Windward Islands players. They wouldn't want to see that at the moment because they are close to victory. They are sensing victory here.
Yes,
And they wouldn't want the weather to interrupt now, the rain to interrupt and prevent them from getting a outright victory here.
and when we look at the records last year in the return match, the Windward Islands won that game by an innings and 34 runs.
Yes.
An innings and 34. I think they made 365 and they dismissed Trinidad and Tobago twice.
Oh,
And the wickets were shared between Shillingford and
Lewis.
Sherman Lewis.
Yes.
Right?
Lewis,
I think they
another
got
good
6 wickets each
delivery.
in
Yeah.
both innings.
Another good delivery by Schumann Lewis here, just outside of stump. That one lift a bit, beating Udin Smith outside of stump there. So Lewis now, you can see with his tail up, he's really charging in.
Yes.
And he would understand that as a bowler now getting a wicket like that. And you're sensing victory. You've seen the low order now coming in. You would want to bowl as quickly as you could.
Yeah, he's charging. He wants to get a wicket. The adrenaline is flowing. This is a shot into the hands of the field. To the captain of the Volcanoes team and
Yes,
Dean
thank you.
Smith.
He says thank you.
No, well, if you accept anything, it's straightforward. He didn't have to move.
Thank you.
What a shot played by this Dean Smith.
Yeah, he couldn't ask for anything better. Just stand there and take a catch.
That is not a shot to
That
be
is
playing
it.
at this stage. Your team needs
No.
110 runs to win, and only 2 of the low order to come. The only thing to save Trinidad and Tobago Red Force now will be the rain.
Right.
And it has arrived at the Brian Lara Cricket
right, and
Academy.
you see that. You see the rain coming. And that's what you will do. Play a shot like that, knowing your team is under a bit of pressure. And you're, if you want to put it, the last recognized batsman on the team.
What a shot to be playing at this
That's
stage.
poor cricket. Poor cricket by these youngsters here.
Even if it's 1 run for victory, you don't even play that shot.
No, you don't.
It's 110 runs to get, right? It's unbelievable.
Yes, 5 hours.
Right, yes, it's 5 hours.
Hours.
And it's really, this is 80 hours to go, 79 plus 5 balls. It's unbelievable, right?
Yes.
But that's the nature of this game.
This game, correct.
Right.
Yes.
The guys take their own mind, their own license. The captain might have spoken to him and said, take your time, let us see these guys off. They are on top right now. Both of them, the faster bowlers will get tired. The spinner, as much as been hitting it, the line and length correctly and getting nice variation.
Shillingford he's not going to get tired.
We never know.
He seems to like bowling.
But if you can see, these guys are well prepared. They have come prepared.
yeah,
Preparation is the
definitely.
key to success.
Definitely.
And to bowl these long spells and 30 overs per innings, not easy to do it. People might think it is an easy job,
No, it's not.
right?
And then having lost that first game, they would come here wanting to win.
no, but
wanting
you
to
can
put
see
in the
that from
show.
the very first start of this match. These guys were focused.
Yes,
They have a very good
definitely.
coach, Andre Coley, understand the business. And during our interview yesterday, if you listened to it, he tell you what is going on, what he's trying to do, and the challenges he has to have these 4 islands, that comprise the Windwards Volcanoes team, lack of resources and everything else. But he's working with these guys, trying to change their mindset and trying to mold the younger players and try to get them ready. Maybe not looking for immediate success when I say winning the title, but getting victories along the way.
Yes.
Having lost
definitely.
the first game, and to get against Trinidad and Tobago, to come here and to win. But Trinidad and Tobago don't have a very good record at this ground. Right? They lost against Guyana, they lost against Barbados, they
Yes.
draw against
Jamaica.
Jamaica. Right? They have a very good record at the Queen's Park Oval and at Guaracara Park, not at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. So they've lost 2 out of 3. And it might be at the end of the day today, it'll be 3 out of 4.
Well, that's still yet to be seen. At
It
the
has to
moment,
be. It has to be a very special in it. Some one of the 3. We don't know who could do that.
or something special from God. At
I-
the moment, he's winning.
No, well, no. This is the weather pattern. God doesn't take sides with anybody, right? And as we look at it here, there's no a serious threat of a serious shower. That's mild, as we will call it, or maybe a slight sprinkling,
Sprinkle, yes.
right?
But it's a continuous sprinkle at
That
the
will be
moment.
bit shortly. Maybe next 10, 15 minutes, that's over. Resumption might be within the 20 minutes, thereabout. So Trinidad and Tobago Red Force in serious trouble.
We could send you to TV6 to do the weather report.
Yeah. But just looking back maybe at last year, Trinidad and Tobago at the Queen's Park Oval, the Red Force made 402. Kyle Hope made 68. Karaya made 49. Jason Mohammed made 113. And in tandem with the captain, Dinesh Ramdin, who made 116, they posted a 213 for the fourth wicket. The second wicket beat Hope and Karaya was 97. And the wicket takers, Sherman Lewis, 5 for 64 from 20 overs. Ray Jordan got 3 for 68, and Kyle Mears got 2 for 79. Windwards in reply, they made 166, and they made 259 falling on. 166, Tyrone Theophil 30, Tyree Gabriel 38, and Kavim Hodge 46. The main wicket takers, Daniel Sinclair 2 for 19, Imran Khan 3 for 46, Charles 2 for 5, and Webster 2 for 20. In the second innings, Trinidad and Tobago fared better, 259 in that match. But with Sinclair that win was fared better, 259. Sinclair 4 for 29, and Imran Khan 4 for 67. So they bowled each team to victory with 20 without loss in the second innings to get in 4.3 overs. Kyle Hope 17 not out, and Django. But this year, it's a different, this season, as we say, the 2018-19 season, in the second round match, Trinidad and Tobago Red Force facing defeat.
Yeah, so looking at the conditions out there, the third umpires out there looking at it, it's totally covered. So we'll have a little break as we try to determine what's the situation out there, and we'll be back in a few minutes to continue our commentary.
Yes, we just say that the final score, Trinidad and Tobago in the second is looking to get 270. They have reached 160 for the loss of 8 after 57.5 overs. That's the latest position at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy.
And welcome back to the wonderful Barrel Cricket Academy here in Taruba. Trinidad and Tobago Red Force 160 for 8. Still requiring another 110 as Lewis bowls to that is Daniel Sinclair and he covers up. And no run result, and that finishes Lewis's 15th over. He's now bowled 15 overs. He's taken 2 very good wickets for 37 runs. And he will feel quite pleased, Lewis.
Yeah, because of how he's bowled this morning, coming out and getting that great line and length in that good spell, he got reward for it, Philo. And we did say that he would have gotten that reward with those 2 wickets.
Yeah, I think the best wicket of all will be Josh De Silva. Joshua De Silva, he showed his arm and the ball nicked back and bowled him.
Yeah, I think De Silva really, and that's where the inexperience showed there for De Silva. He was going well, he was heading along to get a match-winning performance, and he just chose to leave the wrong one alone.
But he got on a bus going to Arima, and actually the game is being played in Turuba, so he should have got on a San Fernando bus. So he has been ding down merrily on high. As Shillingford continues from the southern end, he bowled it to Imran Khan, who is on 2. Khan turns his ball into the leg side, pushes hard at first run. Will he come back for 2? No. I've never seen Imran Khan run 2. He's going to settle for a single, but Hodge whistled that ball into the keeper Dennis Smith.
Taking it head height there, rocking the keeper's arms back. Low and hard, Philo.
Yeah, sometimes they throw the ball too hard.
Youth again at play.
Yeah, so it's going to be Shillingford to bowl to Daniel Sinclair. He's bowling to a silly mid-on, a short mid-wicket, a man just behind square on the leg side, a deep mid-wicket, a long on, a mid-off, a short extra cover catching, and a backward point. Now, Captain Edwards is asking Shillingford if he wants to have an extra man either in front, the bat on the offside, or at leg slip. So it looks like Alec Anthony's is going to move from that short extra cover catching where Jordan goes there, and Anthony's is going to go to a leg slip. So some pressure being placed on Daniel Sinclair. How he responds is left to be seen as Shillingford moves past Lyndon Rajkumar to bowl to Sinclair. And Sinclair's forward and just defends the ball into the offside. It looks like a batsman.
Yeah, but at this stage in time, you can't, as you rightly said, Philo, you can't be too defensive here. You have to look to get motoring along. 109 runs required still to win.
The ball balloons off the pad. He pushed forward and then he showed his arms. It's going to be interesting to see what umpire Raj Kumar signals. But he's standing facing the east and he raises his left leg. It's a leg by. So anywhere the run comes, the Red Force will say thank you.
Yeah, they're going to take it any which way. Shillingford into his 27th over. Philo, I'm not certain if Bridge Parsnat did his homework last night that we asked of him.
No, he was watching Kohli. And if you're going to watch Kohli, you're not going to sleep. A Shillingford to Khan. And he comes forward, the ball goes into the offside again. No run resulting. But Imran Khan, he'd be thinking as a captain, how can I try to get up to that 270, the 109 more runs needed to win this game. He has to dig deeper, join his reserves, and I don't see much in the tank.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a wonderful display of batting here from Khan, who is the captain. But we have to see if they can get that 108 runs as required again.
So he continues to bowl well, Shane Shillingford. He was bowling from the southern end, and he has controlled that southern end quite admirably. Kurt Edwards has given him all the protection he needed, and he obviously answered the call. He's into his 27th over. He's going to be bowling to Daniel Sinclair, who's yet to get off the mark. Sinclair goes back to a ball that's kept very low. True keeper Dennis Smith. Devon Smith has given up the chase quite early. Shamar Lewis was just looking to jog around and pick it up from the boundary. It looks like it's going to be runs. Is it runs? Looks like 4 runs or buys. 4 buys.
4 buys.
And that moves the Red Force there up to 100 now and 67 for 8.
Shillingford at the end of his 27th over. 4 wickets, 60 runs, 3 maidens. Khan and St. Clair here going along just well. It's going to really be an uphill task here for the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force, with the Windwards having this game poised just to take it there.
Yeah, when you look at it, the Windward Volcanoes, they're controlling the game. We had an interview with head coach Andre Coley, and he said they want to be in a position where they can control the game, and I think they're controlling this game at the moment. You know, Imran Khan, that the Red Force captain, would still have visions of winning this game. He would believe that if he can get Sinclair and Charles, if they do get to Charles, to hang in there with him and get the required 107. But it's going to take a big effort as Lewis continues, who have to be, obviously, it's admirable to see a fast bowler bowl with such a long spell and good as well. To kind of ball bounces before it gets to the keeper, but Khan shoulders arms and no run resulting.
Khan taking his time here. He's looking at the ball. He's paying attention. He has good concentration. He knows that he can leave that one alone. But let's hope he doesn't do like the Silver, making that one mistake in his innings that cost him his wicket.
That's the beauty of batting. One lapse in concentration, and you can be all over. And you have to give Lewis actually credit for that dismissal. He just bowled an off cutter, which the Silver left it on it, hit the stumps. He was bowling lots of folk swingers as Lewis still kind this ball's on the pass and he whips it quite nicely down to that man at deep forward square Cato, and he picks up a single. So he moves on to 5. The Red Force 168 for 8, requiring another 102 runs to win this match.
Yeah, we Khan on 5 runs from 27 balls. St. Clair still on 0 from 4 balls here. The partnership moving along at 8 runs so far, a remainder of 77.4 overs for the rest of the day. So they have the time, they have the overs, fellow. It's if they have the batsmen.
Well, the bar is almost empty as Lewis moves away from us to bowl to Daniel St. Clair. And Delon Johnson is coming from that deep point to a straightforward point. This ball's outside the off stump and he shoulders arms through to keeper Dennis Smith. So he bowled into 2 slips, a gully, cover point, extra cover, mid-off, a mid-on, a mid-wicket, and a long leg. Conventional fast bowlers feel.
Yeah, good field setting here by Kirk Edwards. Good pressure being shown. And once Lewis keeps that line and that length, and if he bowls a little more into the batsman, I think he can possibly get another wicket here or two.
Yeah, but it's how much patience will Daniel St. Clair show in this very tense situation of the game as Lewis once more at the top of his mark. Not a long run-up. Passes umpire Braffett to bowl to St. Clair. St. Clair got a very good delivery. He got behind the ball and the ball just whisked past the outside edge with a hint of a base swing and through to keeper Smith.
Good bowling, and that's what Lewis needs to be bowling here. That's what the line he needs to keep on going at. St. Clair showing the little inexperience, batting down at 9, is it, fellow? You know, I think if St. Clair can manage to stick around, Khan taking the lead here, they can get pretty close.
Yeah, but it's gonna take a lot of application and dedication and obviously good common sense and game awareness to get up to that 270. With only 2 wickets in the shed, you would expect the Volcanoes to wrap this up quite soon. But there's a very good delivery from Lewis, covered up by Sinclair into the offside, no run resulting. But it is going to be challenging, and it would have been challenging, Nick, from yesterday. You know, when the Red Force bowl out the Volcanoes, and the Volcanoes set the Red Force 270 runs to win. That's where the challenge started. So I think the approach, chasing this target, was not really appropriate from the Red Force, and now they find themselves requiring another 102 runs, and they only have 2 wickets in the shed. So a lot of homework have to be done. There's a break after this game for Christmas, and they're back at it in the new year. They're back here as well. They're playing against the Leavers in the new year here at Aruba.
4th of January, I believe.
As Lewis moves away for balls to St. Clair, he covers up. Looks good. Pushes the ball into the offside. No run result. And at the end of Lewis's 16th over, he's now bowled 16 overs, 3 maidens, 38 runs, 2 wickets. Red Force in pursuit of 270, requiring another 102 runs to win. They're 168 for 8.
Imran Khan looking good here. 5 runs from 28 balls. Daniel St. Clair still not off the mark. He's faced 7 balls. A run rate of 2.81. They're motoring along a little slow here, but Imran Khan is doing what is required. Imran Khan is taking the pressure, as he did with the bowling, on his own shoulders with the batting here.
Yeah, well, there's a different type of pressure with the bat, because if he gets out, that's the end of it.
Yeah.
And he's just content of getting the singles and not looking to play any expansive shots. So he has an approach that he believes can work. As Shillingford from the southern end bowls, Imran Khan comes forward and defends the ball into the offside, and Shillingford will pick up and return to his mark. He's bowling to a slip, extra cover, a cover on the boundary, a long off, a long on, a mid wicket, a deep mid wicket, a long leg, and the man at silly mid on. Shilling for two. Imran Khan goes forward, plays the ball, look to stop it with the bat. But then the Smith said, "No, Mr. Khan, I'll take it up. No problem. We're on top of you."
Yet again, you have 102 runs to get. We see Windwards here with Shillingford bowling. 5 men yet on the boundary again, Philo. No pressure being shown with your star bowler who's bowled approximately over 60 something overs for the entire 4 days. No pressure. Why?
Because in the Caribbean, the leaders believe that if you don't pressure people, they'll still do something daft. So without pressuring Imran Khan, they believe that he's going to run down the pitch and let go lash and get out. So there's no pressure. They look at safety of players. Not a lot of players in this modern era, Nick, are brave enough to stay at silly mid off. In my time when I played, yeah, you go up back pan and silly mid off and no problem. So you had the quality spinners. When you look at it now, Edwards is going to actually ask Anthony to come from short extra cover, but he's putting him at a leg slip. And I don't think he should be putting that leg slip. He should be sticking Anthony in front of
Correct.
Imran Khan on the offside. So he's brought Ray Jordan into that extra cover area. Now he's bringing Lewis from deep backward square into a short square leg, short backward square inside the circle. And he's bringing Keto from long off into mid off. Obviously, he's asking Shilliford to just string some more dot balls at Imran Khan.
He listened a bit there, but I think he's still not applying enough pressure. I'm not sure if it's a lack of that killer instinct. Coming into this his second game, losing the first, he would have had some sort of disappointment. But it's Shillingford who is setting his field here with the help of Kirk Edwards, and as he completes his 28th over, still 4 wickets for 60 runs. The Trinidad and Tobago Red Force 168 for 8. Imran Khan on 5 from 33 balls, and St. Clair still not coming off the mark.
Well, and Lewis continues to bowl from another end. So this is the Shillingford and Lewis show. We saw Charles and Khan yesterday, and it's quite fascinating, Nick. Where we have a first class game being played, and the captains from both teams have only gone for certain bowlers to do the work and take the bulk of the wickets. Now there's Delon Johnson, there's Hodge, there's also Ray Jordan, but he's just entrusted Kirk Edwards the responsibility of bowling the Volcanoes to victory on Lewis and Shillingford's shoulders.
I really don't understand it. It's like the morning period before lunch. Let's just depend on these bowlers, and then after lunch we'll bring in the other part-time bowlers, and we'll see if we can bowl them out. Why is that initiative not being taken in the morning period? Is it that they're still sleeping, Philo?
I don't know if they're still sleeping, but I think the thinking of the regional captains are quite strange. As Sinclair just covers up and pushing that ball down the pitch. But I like Lewis. I like the effort he's putting in here. This is a very good effort. Play started at 10:25. It's now 11:45. We had a few minutes break for rain, just a couple minutes ago. But he's come back from that break and he's bang on the money.
A player coming down from the West Indies right now, playing in India and in Bangladesh, returning to this 4-day level, he should be bowling long spells.
Yeah, because the game's finished in 2 days in both countries, so he didn't bowl a lot. And that ball died before they got to Dennis Smith behind his stumps. But you can see he uses his head, particularly delivery to get Joshua De Silva out. That was a good delivery. A lot of away swingers, length delivers on off stump as well. And that ball was just a off cutter. Just ran his wrist down the ball and
good thinking.
The ball came back in and bowled De Silva.
Thinking here, Phil, and that is required from a fast bowler that's intent on bowling those long spells, and the responsibility given to you by your captain.
Agree. As Lewis into Sinclair works his ball up to mid-on, Shane Shillingford is there, no run resulting. But he's bowled well in tandem with Shane Shillingford, because Shane Shillingford is getting through his overs quite quickly. He's into his 17th over. He's picked up 2 wickets for 38 runs, and between those 2 wickets for 38 runs, there's also 3 maidens. So he's grouped a lot of balls in the right area.
Yeah, and that's good to see from this young man, who will be looking to get that call up again in the West Indies, hopefully when England is visiting next year.
Yeah, but a lot of other fast bowlers, Alzari Joseph is also back on playing. As Lewis Sinclair said, a wide delivery was going to throw the kitchen sink at it. and he remembered that the plumber is not there yet, and they allowed the ball to go through to the keeper.
At this stage, Philo, I think he should have at least thrown the bat at that wide one and see if he would have gotten some reward.
But we saw
He should
Odin
have tried
Smith.
something different.
But he's learning from Odin Smith what not to do.
Well, true.
Because if I was the manager of this team and Odin Smith played that shot and walk in there, he'll have no lunch. He could take me to the Equal Opportunity Commission. He could take me to the Human Rights Court. No lunch for that shot. You cannot play that shot to get off the mark, and your team's back is against the wall.
Correct.
And just a couple of days ago, the chairman of selectors was praising Odin Smith for his ability to bat and to play that shot. Hell no. As Lewis at the top of his mark on the northern end moves away from us, he's going to go past Gregory Bradford from Barbados. We had a very good discussion this morning to bowl to St. Clair, and he drives up to mid-off. Kurt Edwards is there, and no run result. And then as soon as he fielded that ball, he asks Delon Johnson to go to deep point on the boundary and Kieto to deep forward square. I would like to know how Delon Johnson is feeling. To see that all he's reserved himself to in this game is a fielder,
Yeah.
a boundary rider.
Has not bowled for the past 2 days.
So he's well rested, actually.
Yeah, so if it's not an injury, which we don't think it is because he actually got around quickly to field a couple of balls, we should hopefully see before the end of the day some sort of an over at least from him, Philo.
Yes.
We're hoping here.
True, and St. Clair covers up that final delivery there from Lewis. And at the end of that over, Trinidad and Tobago Red Force, they're 168 for 8. Obviously, the target is 270. If my math serves me correctly, they're 102 runs away.
And getting to that 100 mark, I think it's going to be some sort of encouragement. It's going to be a moral win so far to get down to that mark for the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force. And Khan would see it as we're almost there.
Well, they're 102,000 miles away.
100,000 is better than 102.
So it's just bad batting on the Red Force part. When they look back, they'll realize that where they went wrong in their batting, and it continues to be a problem. And I think it all stems, Nick, from two-day cricket that they're playing as their top-flight cricket.
That's
you
right.
cannot develop batsmen playing two-day cricket. And if anyone from the Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board is listening to this live stream, I think they need to revisit that. A Shillingford over the wicket to bowl to Imran Khan, who comes quietly forward. No pressure at all on the offside, and the ball goes to Ray Jordan, no run resulting. Shillingford is bowled to long off a short extra cover, a slip in Devon Smith, a man who is Alex Anthony, we will call that in Barbados, long stopping, a silly mid on, a long on, a deep mid wicket, deep backward square, and a normal mid wicket. This ball is pushed into the offside. And then Markham picks up a single. And Kurt Edwards should learn from this. I don't think Alec Anthony's is doing anything at that long stopper position. He can ask him to come in front the bat on the offside because Shillingford has the ability, Nick, to get that ball to leave the right hand and straighten sometimes and bounce. And if a man was that silly mid-off just now, that could have been an easy catch. And that's why the keeper, Dennis Smith, put his hand on his helmet because he thought that if a man was in there, he could have taken the catch. But that has not to be. I know we're seeing Alec Anthony signaling for another set of pads and helmet to come up. So they'll stick someone in front of him. I think it's a good idea. Shillingford, at the top of his mark, to bowl to Daniel St. Clair. St. Clair comes forward. Ball goes into the offside. Smith moves around. There's Dennis Smith, the wicketkeeper, and tosses it to his family, Devon Smith. No run resulting.
I'm going back to that point, Philo, about the Premiership and cricket and this double Sunday. I know that the Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board is still in discussions as to how they're going to set forward the 2019 season for that level of cricket, because there are a lot of changes that are being made at not only the zonal level but coming up to that Premiership level where the teams such as Queen's Park and Alscon Comets, Clark Road, Power Gen are playing their cricket. So I'm not sure if they're looking to extend the days in the cricket and possibly try to another 3-day game.
Shillingford into St. Clair. St. Clair drives the ball, takes it inside this, but very good feeling by Alec Anthony's. I hope they have some cricketers who are also sitting in that committee with that decision. I'm open to helping them if they ask me. They can easily know to get hold of me. But they need someone in there to help them, because this is what we're seeing here in first class cricket is a reflection of what is happening at your clubs. Two-day cricket cannot develop cricketers in this country. And that ball is played in the offside and by Daniel St. Clair. And at the end of the over, the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force, they're 169 for 8, trying to get up to 270. So that means 101 more is required.
Imran Khan on 6 from 36 balls, showing grit and determination here. Daniel St. Clair still on 0, not having scored from 16 balls, which is not a bad thing, not coming off that mark, but facing that amount of balls.
I think it's a bad thing, Nick, because he's not scoring. So Imran Khan has to do all the scoring. That means it's pressure on him. Because even if Imran Khan looks to execute a proper shot or a big shot, he's going to be thinking in the back of his mind, St. Clair is scoring. If he gets out, it's only one more man to come. If St. Clair will actually pick up ones and twos and rotate the strike a lot better, then Imran Khan can take a lot freer. But because he's just bent on defending, all the scoring has fallen to Imran Khan's shoulders. As Hodge is going to give it to Lewis finally, because Lewis started this morning at 10:25 and he bowled wonderfully well. I know he's been given a break. Hodge, he's a good cricketer. Hodge, he brings energy and excitement to the Volcanoes unit. He'll be bowling to Imran Khan. He's bowling to a slip, a silly mid off, short extra cover, a backward point, extra cover on the boundary, a long off, a long on, short mid wicket, and a deep backward square.
And we saw Hodge being called in at critical times in this game over the past 3 days to break a partnership. And I think he's being called here again by his captain, Kirk Edwards, to do the same.
Yeah, well, obviously Kirk Edwards has read the script wonderfully well. He's going to another spinner. He hasn't gone to Delon Johnson. He's going to the spinner and Hodge. So obviously look to get a wicket. This is a full toss and driven by Imran Khan quite sweetly to the right of extra cover. Delon Johnson moves nicely to his right and limits the batsman to a single.
Yeah, and Delon Johnson looks good. He's looking healthy in the field. He's not complaining of any injuries as far as we can see. So we're hoping that, and this is really hope. I know hope is back in the dugout, but we're really hoping here to see him at least get an over from that Shillingford end.
I don't think if you want it from Shillingford end, you ain't getting it. And he crashes this one, but Delon Johnson is there. And a good piece of fielding by the big left-hand seamer. He's left-handed. That ball was crashed hard to his right. He got into a very good position to stop the ball. So that is a good fielding by him. Good pressure as well also being placed on Daniel St. Clair. He goes back and punches his ball to Anthony's at short extra cover. No run resulting.
Well, we see with the introduction of Hodge here, Daniel St. Clair, I don't know if he got a little extra vigor or some talk from Imran Khan. He's playing a lot more shots. He's feeling a lot more comfortable.
He's playing freer. Goes back and cuts well, but Delon Johnson is there. Again, another dot ball. As you know, see, Kirk Edwards asking his big seamer to go on to just go side the 30-yard circle down on the sweeper boundary. So he's giving St. Clair the opportunity to get a single. And obviously, in getting that single, he will keep the strike for the next over. But it's left to be seen as Hodge.
A good ploy here.
Top of his mark, the ball to Daniel St. Clair. St. Clair comes forward and respects the ball quite admirably. And at the end of that Hodge's first over, the Red Force they move up to 170 for 8 with 100 more runs to score to win this game.
Yeah, in our hustle and bustle, we forgot to mention that they're down to the 100 mark. And I think I saw a small smirk there from Imran Khan for a moral victory to get that run rate, that run target down to 100 more.
Well, if he's smiling, it's not a big smile because
No.
that's 100,000 miles. I have only two guys and only one more batsman in the hole. Two batsmen in the hole. I can't see him smiling too much. I thought it was Bridgebar and Snafu. Obviously, he'll be supporting the Ghana Jaguars in this West Indies Championship 2018-2019. He'll be supporting the Ghana to take it for a 5th time and set another record, right, Bridge?
As Bridge
is he sleeping?
Boisterously mentioned yesterday, which is not a common thing from him, that he does not support any one team. He supports cricket overall, and I have to correct that. But we know his heart is with the Guyana Jaguars.
Well, if the West Indies Championship 2018-2019 is not cricket, because this certainly is not picked up as Shillingford into Khan. This ball runs off the outside edge. Devon Smith turns and gives chase, and the batsman will only get a single. As I say, good afternoon to British Pirates. Now, if it's coming up to lunch, so I know you need to use your voice.
Still a good morning, Philo.
Yeah.
One point I want to make. If you talk to Harold Eastman, Andrew Mason, Keith Holer, and these guys in Barbados.
They're all Barbadians, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
Every time I go to Barbados to do commentary, I'm the only person from this country but travels to the Chandigarh team to do commentary in the region. The only person. Okay? To Guyana, to Barbados. And they said the only person who supports the Chandigarh team.
St. Clair flicks this ball into the leg side, One bounce down to Hodge and gets a single. Thought
Yeah.
that ball was going to carry for a
And
catch.
says that Bridge Parasnat is more supportive of Trinidadians. He sounds like that on the air, off the air, than any other Trinidadian. I don't have to speak again.
Thank you very much, Brace, for clarifying that you support Trinidad, both near and far. And you continue to do that. I should look for the ball to Imran Khan, and he comes forward and looks to drive. The ball takes the inside edge, and he trots a single as the ball, as Lewis just jogs around from deep backward square, fires a return.
And Gabriel, in that silly point, in that bad part there, he looks disappointed, thinking that he could have jumped across and grabbed that.
Yeah, Gabriel is energy. He likes the ball coming to him, and it's a good sign here for the Windward Volcanoes, where these young men are enjoying fielding.
I like to see this, and I mentioned Kavim Hodge, Athanaze, and Gabriel as that trio that we see coming up. They'll one day take the reins of this team.
Yeah, Sinclair comes forward and defends into the offside. Anthony is an extra cup. He trots around. No run result, and the score remains at 173 for 8. Candice 9, and Sinclair's on 1. Shilliford into Sinclair. Sinclair looks to defend the ball again, takes the outside edge. Devon Smith gets chased, but they come back for the second. Yes, they will.
Good running there by Sinclair. Quick to get that first one, turning around, seeing that the fielder has just picked up the ball and scurried back for that second.
Yeah, it's good cricket all around. Just coming forward, Sinclair, and so finds the ball, takes the outside edge, and can push for the first run hard, give himself a chance to come out for the second, which he did. So 175 for 8, and is now into the need of required. Good shot by Sinclair. Look at the hike that ball. Johnson comes in, but he's very late on coming in, and the ball bounces in front of the big left-hand seamer, and Sinclair gets another single. The score moves on to 176. For 8. So Sinclair starting to look for glory.
Sinclair 4 runs from 24 balls, getting off the mark in this over and moving along, trying to get, I think it was going over Delon Johnson's head. Delon Johnson being around 6 feet 6 inches, 6 feet 7 inches. I look towards my analyst to correct me if I'm wrong. The 6 feet 11 inches or further, I've been told here, and he's just fell before before the fielder there, and Imran Khan 9 runs from 40 ball. A good display by these two young cricketers.
And it's called pressure. And when you're under pressure, that is what is required. You have to try and weather the storm. They require another 95 runs, but they need to obviously bat to lunch this pair of Sinclair and Khan. As Hodges into Sinclair, Sinclair just allows the ball to spin away from him and into the gloves of Dennis Smith. So this situation will either work with or go against Trinidad and Tobago right force down the road. As Sinclair looking to whip this ball into the leg side, has done that successfully. Edwards gives chase, slides, but cannot prevent the batsman from coming back for a second run. So good running there between Sinclair and Khan.
An unorthodox shot there. I would have to say, paddling that away to the offside.
Well, he's looking to score. He's fed up of just blocking.
I think he heard you, fellow.
He's looking for opportunities to score, and I think that is required. If he can score from both ends, it makes it easier. This ball is flighted, but Sinclair is not tempted at all at that flighted delivery, and he just defends it into the offside. So it's good batting from Daniel Sinclair, but he just needs to understand that there's lunch just around the corner. As Harsh once again to Sinclair. Sinclair goes by, looks to cut, not timing the ball at all. It dribbles into the offside. Delon Johnson is there. No run result, and the score remains at 178 for 8. Still required another 92 for victory.
I see Gabriel being very animated there. When the ball flew past him, he didn't move an inch, though.
Comes forward quietly, Sinclair. Again, Gabriel is in the way. No run result, and the score stays 178. Hodges into his 9th over. He's bowled 3 maidens. He's gone for 21 runs, and he's picked up 1 wicket. And this ball is flighted. He comes forward, Hodge. A big appeal. But umpire Gregory Bradford remains on move.
And Trinidad and Tobago Red Force at the end of that 66th over in this innings. 178 runs for 8 wickets. Khan 9 runs from 40 balls. Daniel Sinclair 6 runs from 30 balls. Another 92 runs needed as they move here for another over before lunch.
Yeah, the partnership is 18 runs. But it might sound small in the context, but it's very important in relation to this run chase. 92 more runs required. This might be the last over before lunch. It's going to be bowled by none other than Shane Shillingford, and he's bowling from the southern end. Imran Khan is going to take strike. Now we're going to see another field change. Kurt Evans has asked Kato to come to a silly gully. So he's bowling to a silly gully, extra cover catching, a long off, a long on, a mid wicket, a deep mid wicket, and a backward square on the boundary, as well as Gabriel at silly mid on. Shillingford into Khan drives and drives pleasantly, but Alec Anthony is there, no run resulting. But that is good to see that Imran Khan is looking to obviously push the ball into the outside rather than just stop the ball, because of Kato has gone into that silly, I call it a silly gully. As Shillingford over the wicket, the bowler kind of goes back to a ball that kept a tad low, but not the quicker one, just the ordinary pace delivery, and he just defends into the offside.
More of an arm ball there being bowled by Shillingford. In the ball before that being played there to Anthony, he had a lot more space, but he just wants to get that positive intent going and to get that stroke in to give himself some confidence.
Yeah, quicker delivery there from Shane Shillingford too. Imran Khan was still on the back foot and pushing into the onside, and Gabriel with good hands actually followed that ball. But you can see that Shillingford is starting to get a little frustrated and maybe tiredness as well. He's only human. As he's moving away from the southern end to bowl to Khan. Khan goes forward and defends into the offside. The ball takes the outside edge and just goes to the offside where Kato is there, no run resulting. So Lyndon Rajkumar in his first game I think he's had a good game. Josh De Silva in his first game has had a good game. Imran Khan as interim captain in his first game, fighting.
It's good to see the fight from this new position, this new captain then.
Goes back and defends this delivery from Shillingford into the offside. Kato is there and no run resulting. But it's good innovation as well from Kurt Evers in relation to field placing. Not really that standard type of field setting. He's gone out of the box and looked to obviously be creative. As Shillingford once again over the wicket, the ball in Rakan. He turns it into the onside. And Gabriel just puts his body on the line and stop any opportunity there of a single. As it continued, it looks like they're going to have another over as well.
Yeah, it seems the umpires are trying to make up some overs here from the one or two short breaks that we've received over the morning from that rainfall.
Yeah, so this might be definitely the last one. But Shillingford continues to show his quality. Nick, he's gone on change for 31 overs. He's 67 runs. He's picked up 4 wickets. And he continues to show his quality at this level. And you really have to commend this man. I don't want to call him a young man. This is a man who, who've had international experience. He has his action has been called. And he's just come back in and represented Windward Volcanoes and obviously making significant contributions. As Hodge is going to continue from the northern end, he's going to be bowling to Daniel Sinclair. And Sinclair goes back. A very good delivery in that area of uncertainty. He got an inside edge and got a single behind square.
Yeah, with Kaveem Hodge bowling, I would think that Kirk Edwards would get more men around that bat, putting pressure on this. We thought the last over would have been the over before lunch, but this being the over before lunch, with Kaveem Hodge looking to get some sort of purchase.
You just said that Kirk Edwards would put more men around the bat. He just released the silly mid on and push him to deep backward square. He's bowling that slip, a silly mid off, extra cover, catching a point. Deep extra cover on the boundary, mid off, a mid on, short mid wicket, and that man at deep barrage gets Hodge bowls to kind of fly delivery and Khan's quietly forward and a dot ball. And you're right, Khan is not going to look for a big shot. If everyone Khan plays a big shot, snow is going to fall. He's just looking to stay there to land. So just keep pressuring, put the man in front of him and see if you can get him to play the big shot. As Hodge around the wicket, the ball to Khan, he just goes into the stumps and works it straight to Kurt Evers at that short mid wicket. No run resulting.
It was just whispered into my ear by a little birdie that, they're trying to get Khan off strike here to get Daniel Sinclair back on strike to see if they can put more pressure on Sinclair.
There's a full toss and just whip from outside the offside down to mid-on where Ray Jordan is there. Khan picks up a very easy single. The score moves up to 170. 180 now it is?
Yeah,
that's 180 for 8. So another 90 runs required. By the Red Force to win this game. You see Kato now is going to be called in from deep backward square to silly mid-on. So Hodge has the protection for Daniel Sinclair. He bowls to Sinclair. Sinclair drives uppishly down to Ray Jordan at mid-on. and picks up an easy single. And I don't understand why would you have a mid-on three-quarter way to the boundary and a mid-off three-quarter way to the boundary. You either can push them at long on and long off respectively, or bring them up to mid-on and mid-off respectively.
That's correct, because what you're looking at, you're looking to get these fielders into a catching position, a proper catching position, so that should the batsman make a mistake as he did just now, you would have gotten that wicket.
Another full toss from Hodge and drilled into the shin pads of Gabriel, and no run resulting. At the end of that over, Trinidad and Tobago Red Force in pursuit of 270 for victory. They're 181 for 8, requiring another 89 runs. Imran Khan, the captain, who's been there for a little while and faced plenty balls, he's not on 10. And Daniel Sinclair is on 8. The partnership has already yielded 21 runs.
Yeah, and we were just at 104 runs again to win, and we're down to 89 runs now, Philo. And it's the point that they're whittling away at that target little by little, which is what is required from these two batsmen here.
Yeah, and why it obviously it's coming down because they're scoring from both ends, and that is important, and that is what needs to be drilled into these batsmen's head when they're chasing the target. If you can score from both ends, and it doesn't mean hitting 6s and 4s, 1s and 2s. If the bad ball come a boundary, then it makes it a whole lot easier. Shillingford is going to bowl to Sinclair. He's bowling to silly mid off, a slip, extra cover mid off, silly mid on, a mid wicket, and Sinclair drives up to mid off. Jordan is there, moving very quickly, but the batsman never had a chance to get a single. A long one, a deep mid wicket, and a short backward square. So obviously,
and Shillingford continues again, and he really is. With that last over, he just went past. Looking at Bridges' records and his statistics, Brian Charles bowled the most amount of overs from that end, and Shillingford in his last over just surpassed that.
yeah, but Shillingford is a champion.
Yeah,
bowler.
he is. A workhorse he is.
Yeah, he bowls for there. As he moves away from that Sunderland to bowl to Daniel Sinclair, Sinclair comes forward. Good defensive stroke because now there's Cato at silly mid off, so you can't make any mistakes in defending, and no run resulting. So a lot of pressure being applied here by Kurt Iris and Shane Shillingford, who's into his 32nd over. He's gone 4 for 67 as he bowls to Daniel Sinclair. Sinclair drives, and he's going to be out caught. Yes, he is caught. Whipping that ball from outside the off stump, but straight into the hands of Kurt Iris, who went to his right and juggled the ball. But in juggling it, he held on to it, and Sinclair has to go. He has to depart. Caught Kurt Iris at short mid-wicket off the bowling of Shane Shillingford, who's picked up his 5th wicket, and he's out for some 8 runs.
Yeah, Sinclair goes there for 8, coming from 36 balls. Imran Khan still there, 10 runs from 50 balls. It was good strategy by Kirk Edwards there in that field placement, and we saw that taking place. That specific field placement for Shillingford from that Shillingford end, we would have to call it, for the past 3 or 4 overs, applying that pressure, which is what we recommended here, Philo. If you're going for the jugular, you need to have that pressure being put in place.
Yeah, but once there's pressure in place on the lower middle order, I don't like to call them tail enders, on the lower middle order batsmen, they don't like to see people in front of them. So the only way they look to get out of that or move away from, to get those fielders to move, is to play shots. He whipped the ball, but without any control. And Edwards obviously positioned himself really well at the short mid-wicket area for the off-spinner, which is an important field. And he held on to a good catch. So obviously the pressure has worked. Shillingford obviously has read the script. And the Volcanoes are just 1 wicket away from victory.
Yeah, and with 1 wicket away from victory, Red Force on 181 for 9, we see Brian Charles coming to join Khan at the crease. Last batsman in.
Yeah, well, obviously, the writing was on the wall for Red Force defeat, their first defeat of this West Indies Championship 2018-2019. It's the second game in the championship, but obviously the Red Force first game they did not play because of certain reasons. This is the Volcanoes' second game. They lost the first, and they obviously closed in on a much-needed victory. This will be a moral booster for them going into the holiday season. That little break during Christmas, they can all sit back and relax and say, well, the last West Indies Championship game that we played, we beat the Red Force, and they'll start the new year, 2019, on a high. Red Force then will have all the catching up to do. I don't know how good a Christmas the selectors and this management team and the squad is going to have after this defeat here today. Shillingford over the wicket to bowl the Charles, and Charles comes quietly forward, off spinner to off spinner, and no run resulting. He has an umbrella field. Now Shane Shillingford, he has a slip, silly mid-off, extra cover catching mid-off, a leg slip, a silly mid on, a short mid wicket, a long on, and a deep mid wicket on the boundary. Shillingford around over the wicket, the ball to Charles. He goes back and he's allowed appeal for LBW. And umpire Rajkumar says not out. Stands firm, says the ball is going down the leg side. So he's indicating that ball is actually going down the leg side.
Yeah, and with 1 wicket left here, the umpires I think has decided to extend play by a little bit in order to see if they allow the Windwards Volcanoes to get that wicket.
Yeah, well, obviously it's in the rules now. They can extend by half an hour, Avi. Yes, they can extend by half an hour. And I think they have imposed that rule here. And the umpires obviously want the Windwards Volcanoes to wrap this up as quickly as possible so they can head back to Port of Spain and go into their lovely suites at the hotel that they're staying at and put their feet up, take their socks off first. They have to take their shoes off first, take their socks off and just relax. It's been a long 4 days, but it's been very intriguing cricket. This has been a good 4-day cricket match. I'm really impressed with the way in which the two teams have played. And the Volcanoes, after defeat to Ghana, they've come here to Trinidad and Tobago to Aruba, the Lara Academy, and they've played wonderfully well. They learned from that defeat. As we see, it's going to be Escato. Antonez is going to be bowling. The first time he's got a bowl in this game. So Antonez has been given the opportunity to finish this game off if Imran Khan decides to do something silly. So he's bowling to a slip, extra cover, a mid-off, three-quarter way point. Silly mid-on as Anthony's bowls to Khan, and Khan comes quietly forward. No run result in a mid-wicket, a deep backward square, a deep mid-wicket, a cold corner, and a long on. So he has the protection, Alec Anthony, as the man now moves from silly mid-on to silly mid-off. So he's going to remove his helmet, actually. Gabriel, now he's going to go into short extra cover. I hope his dreadlocks doesn't get in his eyes.
It hasn't so far, and he's done brilliantly in the field for the Windward Islands Volcanoes, as we see Antonez with a short little sprint. And
The ball actually turned.
yeah, he got some good purchase there.
He turned the ball bigger than Shillingford.
Who has been toiling away from the southern end, or AKA the Shillingford end.
Maybe that's why he's not turning anymore, because he's been toiling. As Gabriel has been brought into extra cover catching. Anthony's trots, walks, and then delivers a full toss, and when Khan drills it to the right of him, he doesn't feel properly, and he will pick up an easy single. So Khan continues to show fight.
Yeah. Imran Khan, good job from him. He's put Brian Charles on strike now. Anthony's not doing a bad job so far. We see with his little trot and sprint, we see him getting the ball in the right areas, getting the ball to turn a lot more than most that we've seen so far. So let's see what he does against Brian Charles.
He has the ability to bowl, no doubt about it. But how often does he do it? It's left to be seen. He's bowling to Brian Charles. Brian Charles comes forward and defends. Little crab-like, but he actually kept the ball out. Anthony is bowling to a silly mid-off, a silly mid-on, a slip, a backward square inside the circle, a mid-wicket, a long on, a long off, extra cover, and the man on the boundary really obviously punches that one. Took her Edwards at straight mid-wicket, no run resulting. There's also a man in the corner on the leg side, just in case Brian Charles decides he wants to flex his muscles. Alec Anthony's over the wicket to bowl to Charles. Charles goes back and works his way to the leg side. And will pick up a very, very easy single.
Yeah, he gets off the mark, and he also stays on strike and I would say this without any repercussions being brought to me.
Once you're speaking English, it's fine.
Yeah, you know, Shillingford is going to be coming back from the other end.
Yeah, Shillingford, the only way Shillingford will put down the ball is if it bursts.
And I think he'll ask for a new one.
That's right. So he would never ever put down the ball.
Yeah.
He has 5 wickets for 67 runs, some 32 overs. He's looking at bowling his 33rd. Kurt Edwards is shining the ball. Shillingford is drying his hand and is drying agent. So he's clearly sending a message. Just let me bowl.
Yeah, and I'm very surprised. I'm thinking that when he goes out after this game, he's going to need some very cold packs to cool that shoulder.
Well, I'll tell you something. Years ago, Barbados went to Guyana to play Guyana. In those days, a border, flatter than a pancake pitch. And a medium fast bowler had to bowl a number of overs. When they got back to the hotel, he could not eat dinner because the fork was too heavy.
Might be the same, but we were hoping Shilliford has someone to feed him then.
So they can affect the bowler. The Shilliford have bowls do. Imran Khan, Charles just stuck the first delivery into leg side for a single. That's Shilliford to Imran Khan. Khan comes quietly forward. The ball squirts off the outside edge. But Kato is at that silly gully. Moving a little square, move a little to his right so it could be a silly point. And feels no run result. He's going to a slip, a silly point, extra cover, a long off, a silly mid on, a long on, a short mid wicket, a deep mid wicket, just 3/4 ways from the boundary, and a deep backward square. So the Volcanoes are sensing victory here. Red Force requires another 86 runs for victory, and the Volcanoes 1 wicket. Shilliford into Khan. Khan covers up, pushes into the onside, no run resulting. But this has been a fantastic bowling performance by Shane Shilliford.
Yeah, definitely. He's worked hard at it. He's bowled well, and he's shown that he has the grit and determination to get wickets here.
Shilliford to Khan. Khan comes forward, ball hits the inside edge. Trickles down to backward square. Kato is, Alec Anthony's is down there, sorry. Fires the ball up to the down striker's end. Khan was jogging, but they took the opportunity to get 2.
First mistake we've seen here from Anthony's.
Yeah, well, it's awareness, actually. The guy would give him the benefit of the doubt. He was aware that Imran Khan was just jogging.
Yeah.
And if you ever heard of a guy called Javed Main, that he used to walk. So he fired the ball at the down striker's end to get Imran Khan to just use a bit more energy. And unfortunately, the ball eluded Shillingford's grasp and he got the second run. So Shillingford to bowl to Imran Khan. Khan comes forward and just pushes the ball into the offside. That looks like Lewis. An extra cover comes around, picks it up, no run resulting. But a very good bowling spell from Shane Shillingford.
Yeah, so far 32.5 overs. He's into his 33rd over. 5 wickets, 70 runs, 6 maidens. He's pushing along. He's going along here. And he keeps on telling Kirk Edwards, you're not going to move me from this end. I'm going to keep this ball. I'm going to keep bowling as he completes his 33rd over.
Yes, and at the end of that over, the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force, they're looking to get up to 270 for victory. They're 186 for 9, which means that another 84 runs is required for victory. They only have 1 wicket in hand. Imran Khan, the captain, is on 13 not out, and he's been there for a very long time. Brian Charles has joined him, and he's on 2. This partnership is only 5, but they've batted for more than 5 minutes.
Yeah, and they're going well here. 71 overs so far bowled in this Trinidad and Tobago Red Force spell and innings. 16 extras. The remainder, we have approximately 66 more overs remaining in the day today. Although I don't think all of those would be required. The last wicket to fall was St. Clair, caught Edwards bowled by Shillingford. And we see here Athens continues from this northern end. A lot of turn there Athens is getting as we welcome Ronnie Bikram Das to the commentary booth.
Thank you very much, Nick Vishal Ramnarain.
No relation to Ramnarain.
Yes. So the game is nearing the end here, as we see. The Trinidad and Tobago Red Force definitely on the back foot, definitely staring down at the barrel, as I say, just waiting for the fat lady to sing. But I'm not seeing any fat ladies around to sing at the moment, so we'll just have to wait.
That delivery from Anthony is peeling off the outside half of the bat there from Charles, running down to that gully position as Kaveem Hodge runs around to pick that up.
Yes, so it's Athens into Charles, just pushes it onto the leg side. Goes for single, looking for the second. Not on Imran Khan looking for the second, but Brian Charles send him back.
Tall Delord Johnson there, who has been turned into a specialist fielder
yes,
for this game.
Since yesterday, we saw him just fielding, and he's doing a good job on the field.
Perfect, brilliant job in the field
very
so
good
far, as
fielding.
we've seen in a couple of instances.
Yeah, very good fielding. And that takes the total on to 189 for 9. Khan is on 13. Brian Charles on 5. Partnership moving nicely along onto 8. As Athens into Khan. Pushes it back to the bowler. Athens a nice slow and sort of lazy action. Just throwing the ball up into the batsman's area. He goes again past umpire and he throws it up to the batsman. Imran Khan come nicely forward, pushes it into the offside, and no run conceded.
think Kirk Edwards' plan here is to give Atenes the ball, let Atenes flight that ball up. You know, it's a number 9 and number 10 batsman in here. Look for him to make that risky shot and get out.
Well, not number 9 and 10.
Sorry,
Imran
a
Khan
number
is
10.
not,
Yes, a
we
number 10
wouldn't-
batsman, sorry, on strike as it is.
Right, it's a number 11, and I think it's number 8.
Number 8, yes.
Yes.
Khan came in on number 8, correct.
Yes. So let's not give him too much trouble.
Yeah.
He already has a lot on his mind. Yeah,
Yeah, you know, but I have to say it's great to see this fight from him. He is so far 13 runs from 58 ball. It is truly a captain's knock that we're seeing here from Imran Khan.
Yeah, and that's good. I really initially when we started, I was mentioning that to Bridge. He needs to show that he's a captain. He needs to show this leadership quality. He needs to show that he is a very capable batsman, and he's doing it here for his team. And yes, we know it may be over sooner rather than later, but he would want to be walking out, not out at the end of the inning. Yes, he would like to be walking out on the winning side, but it looks highly unlikely at this moment.
And to no surprise, we see Shane Shillingford continuing from the Shillingford end, aka the southern end.
Yes, so Shillingford into Brian Charles pushes it nicely back to him, and he looks like he's all refreshed. He looks like it's his fifth over.
Fifth over for the day, but in truth and fact, I think it's his 9th or 10th over for the day, and he's going strong.
Yeah, that's the character and the mantle of the guy. Shillingford into Brian Charles, pushes it back to Cook Edwards. Feel nicely, shine the ball, throw it back to Shillingford. Shillingford don't want to shine the ball. He just wants the ball back in his hand.
Just, you know, he's just saying, "Give me the ball, let me bowl." You know,
Yeah.
I still have another good 10 or 15 overs in me. You know,
Of
let's
course.
see if we can wrap these guys up within that.
Yeah, Shillingford into Brian Charles, coming back to that one, but safely negotiated to the fielder at bat pad. The ball is back in Shillingford's hand, and he's ready to go again.
Good pressure here being shown from Shillingford and Cook Edwards with 4 men around the bat.
Ah, yes, nice tight field here. And he's not allowing the batsman to get off here, not giving him that easy single. And again, it's a good delivery. Probing outside that off stump is Shillingford, and just pushing it back nicely to the fielder at bat pad is Brian Charles. He's looking the part here, as they say.
Yeah, you know, he's showing a little maturity, getting the bat on ball, which is important at this stage. He needs a... Oh, and that's a good sweep shot.
Yeah, it's an audacious shot. It wasn't really called for, but it was on that line, and he played the ball. It was on that leg stump line, and he played a nice sweep shot past the fielder at the leg slip fielder, and picks up 2 more runs. That takes the total now on to...
191, I believe.
191, I believe, yes. 191 for 9. So they're nearing that total of 270. They're only 81 runs away.
Yeah, you know, and just a couple overs ago.
Sorry, my apologies. 79 runs away.
79 runs away. And, you know, I was telling Phil Wallace just a little while ago, about 6 or 7 overs ago, you know, it was 104 runs. And once they reached that 100 mark, you know, the runs will start looking, obviously, less and less, and it would encourage these batsmen more and more.
And on the side of it, the captain, Kirk Edwards, now, he would be wondering, are we going to get this wicket? Are we going to start a play on his mind? He's going to start to play on the bowler's mind and on the fielders, and that's when the mistakes will start to come up.
And we saw Kirk Edwards trying something, I would have to say, good strategy in bringing Atenes in, giving him a couple of overs, see if he can purchase that wicket for them, and now bringing back in Hodge, who is a more experienced bowler,
yes,
to see if he can, you know, get this wicket, which he has been doing for his captain at the critical and crucial points.
Correct, and he did that earlier on in the innings. So Hodges now takes up the attack on the northern or media end of this Brand Lara Academy. Nice, cool, overcast conditions. Good conditions for cricket here. And as I mentioned earlier, I would like to see a fast bowler on. This is very good conditions for fast bowling.
Yeah.
But Kirk Edwards, he's a captain out there. He chose to go with Hodges.
I would have expected to see Kirk Edwards bringing Lewis back, who's had a good spell for this morning so far, from this
yes.
media end, to see if he can get that wicket. Put more pressure, put the fielders in, and you know, we have a number, what we would say, a number 11 batsman. But
He's a batsman.
Sorry, a number 11 batsman, because
Correct.
he has a bat in his hand, Ronnie.
Yes,
So he has to know how to bat, right?
Yes, he does. And he's doing a good job thus far. So it's Hodges into Imran Khan. He just pushes out to that short cover fielder. No run. In the dreadlocks
Gabriel.
Gabriel.
Yeah.
Yes.
Phil
So it's-
Wallace saying that he really likes the trio of Gabriel, Atenes, and Hodge. And I'm telling Philo that these are the three guys who's gonna hopefully, if they stick with this Windwards Volcanoes team, they're gonna push this team further along.
Yes, and it's Hodge into Imran Khan, driving that nicely onto the short cover fielder. Again, it's Gabriel there, still with the helmet on, safety first,
Although that long position that he's at.
safety first. So it's Hodge again into Imran, driving nicely. Oh, can't beat that point fielder. And for the first time in a match, I believe Cook Edwards has the point fielder up and not
Yeah.
at the boundary.
And not at the boundary. Which
Otherwise, that would have been a nice, easy single as they were getting all along.
DeLon Johnson would have normally fielded that long point boundary, and we would have seen him just chipping in to get that ball in, and it would have created that single. Imran Khan refusing that single there, and deciding to take the strike as Shillingford continues, and I don't say that with any surprise whatsoever, from that southern end.
Yeah, definitely. So at this point, it's 192 for 9. Trinidad and Tobago Red Force only requiring 70 more for victory, and they have the skipper Imran Khan. He's there battling it out with Shillingford, and a good battle thus far between the two of them.
Yeah, Imran Khan needs to stay there. He needs to bat on one by one. You still have somewhat of 63 overs remaining in the day's play. You can get there, man. You can definitely get.
Oh, and that's a chance. A tough chance, you would see. Imran Khan looking to drive down one. It's peeled off the inside edge of the bat, the inside half of the bat, I would say, straight to Gabriel at bat pad, but he was unable to hold on to that one. It was a tough chance.
It came quickly at Gabriel. It got into his right hand, flew out of it, hit him on his forearm, and then just was dropped. But it was a brilliant chance.
Yes, and it's Shillingford. So Imran nicely behind it, tries to cover up, but it beats that outside edge straight to the keeper, Dennis Smith. He tidies up nicely, and it's no run. So the score remains on 192 for 9.
As Shillingford continues here with his third ball of his over, we see Cannon 14. And just playing that one down. I think after that rash shot that he made just now, he's thinking to himself, what am I doing here? I should be batting a little more, controlled. I should be here,
yes.
For the end.
That's a very good point I was about to make as well. After playing that shot, he shows his instincts here as a captain. He played a bad shot, and then he went back to the normal. Just goes forward, push it there. Don't try to drive a ball. As Phil Wallace always say, you don't drive a ball outside off stump to the off spinner, especially Shane Shillingford. You will get
Especially
your
Shane
off stump knock away.
That's correct. And we see here that Shane Shillingford just straying down the leg side there. Candace whipping that one away for a single, bringing Brian Charles on strike. Charles, 7 runs from 15 balls. We have to see here what Charles decides to do against Shillingford. He's been controlled so far, but let's see if he keeps that.
Yeah, he's doing a good job thus far. So it's Shillingford. Been past the umpire, bull. That's not. Brian Charles nicely behind it, showing the top order what he can do and what they should have done.
Charles possibly looking to be moved up the order here. We had Anthony Gray, the chairman of selectors here yesterday, saying that Charles and his bowling is good, but I think he's showing them that he can bat also.
And that one squeezed through the button pad and just picked the leg bill there, and it's all the end of the match. Shillingford, Brian Charles, sorry, both wicket for Shillingford. He ends the match with 12 wickets. So what a feat for him. He did what his skipper asked him to do. He stood at that southern end and bowled non-stop, continuously for his skipper. He got 6 wickets in each inning, and he basically bowled out the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force team.
Yeah, Trinidad and Tobago Red Force being bowled off 193 runs. They were still looking for 77 runs, which they're now short of, having lost this game. Khan has been left stranded on 15 runs from 71 balls. A true captain's knock here, which should give him some encouragement going into this Christmas break and then looking at their next game, which is going to be on the 4th of January. Shillingford, what can we say? Shillingford, the workhorse, the clever fox, taking a hold of that southern end and pushing forward there. He got the final wicket, which is well deserved. Kirk Edwards showing a lot of trust and a lot of hope in Shillingford at that end. And you know, as the guys walk off, we see the Trinidad and Tobago team lining up to shake the hands, which is good respect in this game of cricket. Shake the hands of the Windward Island Volcanoes, which coming out of a loss there in their first game, they showed a lot of grit and determination to come and get this win.
Yeah, and not only that, in this game they came from behind, if you want to put it that way, because they were behind on first inning, not by much, but they were
90
behind.
runs.
Yes, but they were behind, and they showed their character in the second innings, and that's what won them this game. That batting effort, that initial batting effort between Gabriel and Keto, that won them the match today. The youngsters, as the coach mentioned, they are putting the trust in the youngsters, and they produced for them in this match and won them this match.
Yeah, and Coach Kohli really did say that this team he would have depended a lot on the youngsters, and the youngsters in K2 and Gabriel, they showed the grit and they showed the determination which was required in that second innings in creating that long-standing partnership and getting them to that 278 mark, which I would say would have won the game for them.
Yes, definitely. It put them on the ascendancy, on the front foot, and it immediately put the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force under pressure in trying to get a wicket, find some way to get a wicket, and that laid the foundation for them to eventually win the match by 77 runs. So at the end of the match here, it's the Windward Islands. They won the match by 77 runs, and I welcome my good friend Bridge to give us a little summary of the day's play.
Well, good afternoon to you, Ronnie. Well, what has happened? Trinidad and Tobago has lost this match. This is the third match they have lost in 4 regional first-class matches, so they haven't got a victory at the Bayanal Cricket Academy. When you're at home, you're supposed to win.
Definitely, that's an advantage, right?
Right. Not happening for them at all, and I think that they went into this game optimistic that the chances will be good. But we look at both teams to start with. The experience of the Windwards Volcanoes, they have 4 West Indian players, or 4 former 3 former and 1 current on their team.
Yes.
In the Trinidad and Tobago team, how many former or current West Indian players in the Trinidad and Tobago team?
I could count them without any fingers.
Right. So that's where you start at that point. You see, when you go to the higher level, you come back to the local level, you come back with experience. You come back with a different mindset. When you're at this level, you want to go to the next level, to the highest level. So you got to work hard, right? And they had the opportunities. It's not a pitch has created any devil. But we saw the former West Indian spinner, Shane Shillingford, proving himself that the wealth of experience had over the years, and he has provided the platform for the Windwards Volcanoes to win this match. So he finished with 12 wickets for 147, 6 of 44 innings, and 6 of 73 in his second. And I'm sure that he definitely will be vying with Ronald Cato, who will be the 100 in the second innings. That's a very important innings for the man of the match, but I think he will get the edge.
Well, Brisbane, I want to congratulate the Windward Island Volcanoes for a fantastic victory. I went upstairs looking for you, and I ended up on the second floor, but you're 1 floor ahead of me because you were the big boys. I was speaking to Andre Coley because I've known Andre Coley for quite a long time, and he said that what has pleased him a lot in this match is the catching. Apparently, the first game in St. Lucia, they were atrocious in the field. They dropped 8 catches, and in this game, you see how wonderfully well they field and catch. And then, if you look at it, a lot of the young guys ran with the mantle. They were given an opportunity and given responsibility, and they took it, and they ran with it quite beautifully. Well, for example, Gabriel in the top of the order. You saw Cato, who dug himself out of a hole. But Shillingford will always be Shillingford. He's committed 100%. You got Shermaine Lewis looking to bowl a lot better look better in the second innings. The only disappointing factor to me here was obviously Delon Johnson, who should be the leader of this bowling attack, but who obviously has gone a little pear shaped. And I would hope that during the holiday season that he would try to pull himself together. But you're seeing that the Windward Volcanoes, that they're working on a structure and a strategy, and they've understand now that in order to win games, you need to bat and score runs, take 20 wickets, but the fielding is going to be paramount, and that is what the edge that they had on the Red Force. You talk about the West Indies players, former and present, but if Trinidad and Tobago Red Force had batted as a collective group, I still think they could have made the 270. But again, it's the mindset. The mindset was from, very, very negative. It's not cohesive. You saw Jason Mohammed play a funny shot and getting out and no real commitment. When you look at Imran Khan, he came out and he dug in, but he was negative. Joshua De Silva started well, but then he became negative too. So there was no clear plan. And that is why when we're looking at these first-class games, and this was a good first-class game actually, you have to break it down into small increments for these players to understand how to get to the big target. 270 might look big, but if you break it down into small particles, and Nick would do that because he's a specialist in particles, you will see how easy it was. But because of no cohesiveness, no thinking, no collective structure, it all fell down for the Red Force, and they now have to pick themselves up. Obviously, the Volcanoes are going to have a good Christmas, and the Red Force Christmas might not be so merry.
No, it should be merrier for them. And because the pressure now is on the players who didn't do well, with 5 players coming back to be available for selection: Dinesh Ramdin, Darren Bravo, Shannon Gabriel, Kari Peer, and Evan Lewis. Those 5 guys will be available for selection. So immediately when you look at those 5 guys making themselves available for selection for the new year, for the next run, it means that the Trinidad and Tobago players who have played in this match ought to have worked very hard to be outstanding and to hold their position in the team, right? And I'm looking at people like Kyle Hope at the top of the order, who West Indian player, former, and Jason Mohammed. Those 2 are the 2. So we had 4 and 2. Those are the experienced guys expected. And even the younger ones, Yannick Araya, Tion Webster, and we're looking at Amir Django. I talk about the specialist batsman at the top of the order. These guys did not produce anything substantial. They got starts. They were not able to do on to go get even a decent score. As a specialist batsman, you need to get 50 and plus. There's no way near to it. Only Solazano is the only guy at the top of the order who came out with flying colors. So with the first innings, he got an excellent 100. But in the second innings, he got a ball that kept low, and he was a judge LBW. But those are the other guys. I talk about the batting order. They failed considerably.
Even with Dinesh Ramdin coming into the next game in the new year, Joshua De Silva, kudos must be given to him in the first innings and second innings. On his debut, he showed good grit, he showed good determination, especially in the second innings, batting late into yesterday afternoon, going overnight, and then coming into today again, Bridge. I think he can maintain a place in here as just a batsman alone and let Dinesh Ramdin take the gloves.
You realize I didn't call his name.
I realize that. I realize that.
Because I was impressed with him, and I will keep him in the team. I will keep that guy in the team. But I talking about Amir Django, I talking about Kyle Hope, I talking about Yannick Araya and Tion Webster. These are guys out there. They have got centuries, but we didn't see that kind of discipline, the application, and they want to fight and to get a big score, or at least a decent score. I'm not seeing that kind of fight, and this is what the new dispensation Tony Gray was talking about. They're trying to instill that into the guys, them, to understand that you come to this level. You have the chairman of selectors who was here, Lachlan Sebastian. I saw him. We had a nice little chat.
Chairman of selectors. He's one of the selectors. I'm happy that he's here. But Bridge, let me tell you something, right? I know viewers and listeners. Trinidad and Tobago's cricket board top flight cricket is 2-day cricket. You cannot develop cricketers for 4-day cricket playing 2-day cricket, and that is where the problem lies. And then you have young men that you have to drip feed. And if your management team and your coaches are not feeding them or giving them the right amount of drips, they're going to struggle. You need to be a bit more, the coaches in this modern era, Bridge, no disrespect to them, they need to be a bit more vocal and in your face. Because if they don't be vocal and in the faces of these players, you're going to get what happened in Barbados yesterday, Jamaica chasing 107 and being bowled out for 69. You're going to get more of that. The Windwards get being 140 for two and getting bowled out for 206. Trinidad and Tobago right first cruising and they get bowled out for 225. You're going to get more of that because the coaches are just sitting back and allowing these guys to do what they feel like rather than telling them this is what is required. And I'm happy that Sebastian is here because I had a discussion with him too. West Indies selectors need to let these first class cricketers know what is expected of them to play for Windies. If they don't tell them, we're going to continue to get beat. And it's happening here with Trinidad and Tobago Red Force. They're not being told what they have to do in the right manner. So they feel that going out there and blocking and hitting for four or hitting a six is cricket. No. This cricket is played from the shoulders up, not from your arms. It's your shoulders up. And that is where it's lacking. And the Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board needs to understand they have to find a way to get back 3-day cricket into their system to develop these cricketers properly.
I think, Philo, the point you made is a good one, but I think this only this isolated case for the 2018 season. They had the 2-day matches. I think they were 3 days previously.
Bridge, your cricket has been struggling now for the last 4 years.
Right, but I think they got revert back to the 3-day. They recognize that they have the problem.
Okay.
There is that indication that they revert to the 3-day. But I think the problem is further than that, Philo. It is at the secondary school level. That is where the foundation is laid. The secondary school level is a T20 tournament. I have said that to Dave Cameron and Emmanuel Nanton. They came in the first press conference when they were voted in as president and as secretary at the Hyatt in Trinidad and Tobago. And that's my first observation. I said the problem for West Indies cricket doesn't lie at the higher level, it high at the foundation level. At the secondary school level in Trinidad and Tobago is only T20 cricket at the time.
Correct. And at the moment,
Guyana had no schoolboys cricket at the time. Now they have gone last year. We introduced schoolboys cricket, so they have a chance. Only Barbados we could say that their schoolboys getting a chance to play cricket throughout the season and then even playing the Barbados, the BCA competition. So the problem is at the foundation level.
And I would add something to that in that yes, it lies there because at secondary level you only play T20 and 30 overs, 35 over game. How do you expect? And then you want when they pick a national team at the junior level, you want them to bat 50 overs. I've coached at the zonal level, and these batsmen, these players, these youngsters, they cannot bat 40 overs. They go out there, and most of the teams get bowled out before 40 overs. I've never seen a team bat out their full 50 overs, and that's the thing about the school cricket. Prior to that, when I used to play school cricket, that's way back then. Well, not that far back, but we would play. Yes, we would play a limited over, probably a 35 over or 40 over match, as well as we would play a 2-day game. So we would have that experience of playing 2-day cricket from the secondary school level come up. But they cut all that out of the system, and now they expect, as Philo Wallace say, they expect these guys to play 4-day cricket. They can't.
So that's Ronnie Bikram Das. I know Philo Wallace maybe have his final thoughts on what has happened. Trinidad and Tobago have lost this by 76 runs, bowled out for 193 today. Looking at the way it has evolved at the close of play yesterday, 131 for the loss of 5 after 47 overs. Today they had lost Tian Webster. He had gone for 13. And then the promising youngster, Joshua De Silva, made 41, the top scorer in his face, 43 deliveries. Imran Khan was not out on 15. Odin Smith gone for Doc. First ball, Daniel Sinclair, 8. He faced 38 deliveries, and then Brian Charles was the last out. Shane Shillingford, 12 wickets in innings, 6 for 74 in the first innings, 6 for 73 in his. Most likely he'll be voted player of the match. So congratulations to the Windward Islands. Fantastic performance by the team led by Cork Edwards. The first time he's at the helm. I'm sure he's brought that wealth of experience. He's been able to get the guys to respond to him, and they'll be happy to leave Trinidad and Tobago with full points from this match, having lost to the Guyana Jaguars in the first round.
Bridge, I just want to say congratulations to the Windward Island Volcanoes for winning this second round match in the West Indies Championship 2018-2019. It was a pleasure actually doing this game to see what the Windward Islands have to offer, and also Trinidad and Tobago Red Force in this new cricket season. Obviously, the Red Force will have to revisit their structure and their plans for their cricket moving forward. As you said, they have 5 players coming back, and you hope that those 5 players will come and fit into the cricket system that is here, and obviously lift the standard, the thinking and stuff, and the approach and application which is required. It's been a wonderful 4 days here at the Brala Cricket Academy here in Taruba. The ground staff is soaking the surface because then there's a Christmas break now in the Windies in the West Indies Championship 2018-2019. They'll restart in January. I think it's the 4th of January. We're back here at Taruba. Trinidad and Tobago Red Force will be playing against the Leeward Island Hurricanes. So the Leeward Hurricanes, that's another game to look forward to. I just want to say on behalf of Cricket 360, in collaboration with Cricket West Indies, I'd like to say thanks to you, Brace Power staff. It's a pleasure working with you. Vishal Ramnarang, who's no family today.
Pleasure is always mine.
Ronnie Brick Ramdas, and our technical guru, Mr. Avidas Sitaram. I'm Philo Wallace on behalf of Cricket 360 Production. I want to say a Merry Christmas to all our followers out there who's listening to our live broadcast streaming, and a prosperous and happy 2019. And you can rejoin us here at Brian Lara Cricket Academy in Taruba very early in January 2019. On behalf of the production team, I'd like to say thank you and all the very best. Merry Christmas.